unfold. Join Power Maximus, Lord Triage, and the Darth Legacy Jason M40 on a journey through heroic realms where legends are born and destinies entwine. Delve into the cosmic currents, unraveling the mysteries of superheroes, villains, and champions. Embrace the cosmic energy that binds us all, and let your journey begin. This is the Super Breakdown Podcast. Enter the cosmic saga.
What is up? What is up? What is up? We are back again with another awesome episode. This is a Super Breakdown. I'm Power Maximus. We're here with everyone's favorite demigod, Lord Triage, and the Darth Legacy himself, Jason M40. So we are continuing our Star Wars week. Last week was... Refresh my memory. Shit, who was it? Who did we go? Who did we go over last week? Revan, yes. So last week we started off our Star Wars month with going over Darth Revan. We are continuing it today, and of course we are sticking with the dark side with Asajj Ventress, Count Dooku's lead assassin. So this episode is going to be pretty interesting. I feel like it's going to be a decent bit of back and forth between all of us, really. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. So, as always, Triage, would you like to take it away when it comes to Asajj Ventress?
So, what was your first time being introduced to Asajj?
The cartoon animated Clone Wars. Yep, the cartoon animated Clone Wars. That was my first time being introduced to her, especially with her fight with Anakin, I believe.
Her the ones that were like the little 5-minute shorts, right?
Yeah.
See, I always got her confused with another character who I think that she's directly based off, who was Kamari Voss from Star Wars Bounty Hunter. Now, did you ever play that?
No, I have not. I did not get to play it. So when I was younger, we had the game, but I personally never got to play it. But it's on PlayStation Plus for anybody who's interested in playing it. It is on PlayStation Plus. You can stream it and play it on there.
So that game basically chronologically explains the story of how Jango Fett got hired and proved himself worthy to be the proxy for the clone army, and how the way he did that is that Tyrannus Dooku hired him to hunt down and capture or kill this person, Kamari Voss, and how he had to take her down, and how he was going to pay him 5 million Republic credits to get the job done. And when you see her, she's literally the spitting image of Asajj Ventress, from wielding dual lightsabers that are both have curved hilts, to the color of her skin, to like the style of her hair, even the way she fights. She literally is the spitting image of Asajj.
Oh, that's cool.
It is Kamari Voss.
Kamari.
So I always confused her with Asajj. So when I saw Asajj in the animated Clone Wars series, I thought that's who she was, because Jango defeats her, and she says to him, what's it going to be, bounty hunter? Are you going to bring me in alive or dead? So he decides to bring her in alive, and then just then she says, "Oh, he's here," and so you see that someone snaps her neck with the Force. So Jango's looking at her confused, like, what just happened? And then Tyrannus is behind him.
Oh shit, that's cool.
Yeah, and he states that she was his pupil at one point in time, which explains why she fought the way she fought and why her lightsabers were just like his. And then he was like, he figured that she could be a useful tool moving forward, but she got too out of control. So the Emperor ordered Dooku to get rid of her.
Wow.
Now, you fast forward to the animated series, the little 5-minute shorts, which I always thought the 2D art and everything never got enough recognition, because I always thought those were great.
Yeah, I thought they were really good. I enjoyed the shit out of them.
And I think that's actually what actually greenlit the actual Clone Wars series that we actually got to see that was fully computer animated.
Absolutely, it absolutely was.
So
it just sucks that what they ended up doing is that everything that happened in the animated shorts is canon. It's not canon.
yeah, no, it is. It is, but it was adapted because you see it with certain things that got explained and how they did certain things, like the reason Grievous coughs the way he does is because Mace Windu crushed his chest with the Force. When he abducted the Chancellor, and Grievous is the one who abducted the Chancellor because you see that happen in the animated shorts. Just as Anakin Skywalker finds out, and they go off to go save him. Now, so like I say, some of it's still canon because if you've watched the animated Clone Wars, you know when Anakin and Obi-Wan find out that the Chancellor's been abducted by Grievous, they're with Ahsoka about to go capture Maul.
Okay.
So certain things are still canon. They just kind of retconned them. Like
they're
if you
like
watch
one after the other. They're like
So if you watched the animated series, you know that Asajj is Dooku's apprentice, but they never show how Asajj and Dooku met. Now, if you watch the Clone Wars shorts, he basically goes to like this battle royal where you have all these people fighting, and all of a sudden you see this figure sitting next to him. He goes, it's really impressive the fact that you snuck in here. He goes, and I almost didn't even sense you until you got this close to me. But he's like, but I'm not looking for a spy. So the figure stands up, jumps into the pit, drops the cloak, and it's Asajj. And then she proceeds to use the Force to wipe the floor with everybody in this battle royal. And then when she comes to the last opponent, she draws lightsabers, dual wields them, kills them. So Dooku's sitting there, very, very, very impressive. That was very good. And she makes a comment about how she's a Sith, and he's like, "Oh, that's cute. Yeah, that's a bold claim." He's like, "You dress like a Sith, you fight like a Sith," but he's like, "But this can all be imitated." And she goes, "What do you know of the dark side?" He's like, "You're just a foolish old man." And she tries to attack him, and he electrocutes her.
So this whole time, I've been sitting here trying to find. You said her name was Khmer Voss?
Yes.
I can't find her anywhere.
Okay, so the spelling is. Let's see. Okay, yeah, the spelling is Kilo, Oscar, Mike, Alpha, Romeo, India. Victor, Oscar, Sierra, Alpha.
Oh, Vasa.
Yeah.
Oh, I put Voss. There we go. Okay. I see.
Like if you look, she literally looks just like Asajj Ventress.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Give me a sec. I'll pull it up for everyone to see here. Just pull this.
Because if the bounty hunter game isn't canon, if it's just like a one-off shot, it never is really explained how Jango got hired by Dooku. Jango just said, I was hired by a man named Tyrannus on one of the moons of Bogdan. Like he just leaves it at that. But like, what did Jango do, or why was Jango so sufficient to the point where Dooku's like, this is the guy we're going to use for the clone army?
No, absolutely. So yeah, this is what she's looking like. Definitely, yeah. She got the dual blades, red. Yep.
Right.
Curved hilt. Interesting.
And now the whole thing with the curved hilts, right?
Yeah, it's it's a dueling blade.
Yes.
That's why Tyrannus has his that way.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Why would see? And this is what bothers me about Star Wars, and I'm pretty sure it bothers everyone. There's so much like lore out there that they can play with. They have thousands of years of work that they can play with. And yet they have stories like you said. If here, let me double here. I'll check. I'll even check right now to see if Bounty Hunters is canon, because that would make sense. Yes, it is. So yes, Star Wars Bounty Hunters are a part of the Star Wars canon, both in original trilogy and the new canon established after Disney acquired Lucasfilms. The concept of bounty hunters and specific bounty hunters like Boba Fett, Jango Fett, and Cad Bane are established in the movies and are expanded upon in the new canon through various media. Like okay, we get that. Okay. Interesting. All right. So it is. So yes, Bounty Hunters is canon. So continue. Sorry. Because it was let's see where were we? Tyrannus electrocutes her ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ventress passes out, she wakes up, and she sees that her lightsabers are a few feet away. So she goes to pick them up. Tyrannus draws his and attacks her. And on reflex, she summons him to him. They fight for a bit. He disarms her, cuts the sabers in two. Excuse me, he cuts the hilts in two, and then like throws her back. So he's like, all right, this duel's over. So she goes, so finish it. And he goes, I have other plans for you. And it's revealed that a hollow of Sidious has been watching this the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically tells her, he reveals like who they are. So like, she goes, we have a job for you if you're willing to accept it. And he was like, I have a gift for you. And he opens a container and gives her two new lightsabers modeled after his. And he basically sends her to go kill Anakin Skywalker. So, well, the whole thing is that Dooku actually says like she'll be more than a challenge for him. And Sidious's response is, it matters not whether she succeeds in killing him or not. All she is a tool that will bring down the eradication of the Jedi.
That's very interesting.
And I think he said that solely because Dooku never thought that he was going to be replaced. So he had no idea that Anakin Skywalker was being groomed to be his new apprentice.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, he had no clue. So he said that knowing full well that if Asajj succeeded and actually did kill him, all that did was take away the greatest hope the galaxy had. In the event that he kills Asajj, all that does is push him closer to the dark side, because she was going to test him in a way no one else had.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. So
now,
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Because the thing that was interesting when it came to Anakin Skywalker was, did you ever hear the whole thing about him when he loses the Dooku and he loses his hand?
Which thing?
So the whole thing is supposed to be that if you go from Attack of the Clones to Revenge of the Sith, you see how much Anakin Skywalker improved in saber combat.
Mm-hmm.
Now, by the time Attack of the Clones had happened, Anakin had already prided himself on being a great duelist. He thought of himself equal to Master Yoda himself in swordplay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's a very arrogant statement in my opinion. But
it is.
Yes.
It is.
You see
that little green motherfucker hopping around. Yeah, no.
But that's also the form he used in fighting, combining that with his ability in the Force. So here's the thing. Now, when Anakin lost his hand, he thought of that as like the ultimate testament of his ability. So he was like, all right, I think I can rival Yoda in swords play, but Yoda's apprentice just beat me.
Mhm.
So he took that extremely personal. That was very humbling for him and very motivating. So that's one of the reasons why, if you watch Revenge of the Sith, they talk about how, or if you read the books in between, he focused so heavily on his sword play because of the fact he was defeated the way he was.
I mean, that makes sense. Like, it does.
Oh, and so it would make sense as to why when they finally ran down on Dooku, and there's that whole scene, the do it, that whole scene where he decapitates him, actually kills Dooku. He kind of did, his hesitation was lacking in that.
Well, the point with that also is like he knew how Anakin was when it came to revenge. Like the whole thing with him killing the Tusken Raiders. It's like it's like, so he already knew how he was, and when it came to people who had wronged him, the whole thing with him getting into the fist fight with Padme's ex-boyfriend, who she hadn't seen in years. Like he had that dog in him.
He said,
Damn.
I ain't catching these hands then.
Damn.
He invited this man to a fight and proceeded to get his ass beat. He punched that motherfucker so hard in the face. He said, so be it. Man,
He's like, oh, you want to get hit with this bionic fist? I got you, my nigga. Ha! Take that.
He said, ha.
So
Awful. So
that's
crazy.
one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons. Like when Dooku mocked him, and then he was like, "Oh, I sense great fear in you. You have hate. You have anger. You don't use them." And then Anakin channeled his anger into a sword play, which made it more dangerous. Anakin realized that he can spar and train as much as he wants until he was in an actual life or death situation. He wasn't truly being tested. Now he also has this realization when he fights Asajj, because Asajj came very close to killing him.
Yep.
And this is something else that I always thought that was weird, because it's mentioned, but it's never really shown as far as I know. So after Asajj gets sent after Anakin Skywalker in the animated shorts, they wind up getting into a fight on, I want to say it was on Yavin 4, and how he shows up chasing her with a whole squad of troopers. Asajj proceeds to wipe them out and then takes them one-on-one. And these two have an epic sword duel.
That shit was crazy.
Epic. And it gets to the point where Asajj actually disarms him, and the only way he could stop her was to grab her arms, and he broke her wrist with his mechanical arm. And then forced her to drop one of her lightsabers. Then he hit her saber up and attacked her in a rage.
Yep.
Like he literally struck her saber so hard that the force around her cracked, and she fell off a cliff into like a cabin. And then after that, like, he let out this roar that was so strong, like it literally pierced the force around him.
Damn. Yeah, I didn't remember that last part.
I wish Star Wars, like, when you read Star Wars, it's so descriptive, like, when it's talking about the Force. I love it.
No, absolutely. So let's take a step back. So we all seen like where Asajj is and then where her story goes. So correct me if I'm wrong. Where Tales of the Underworld starts is after that fight?
Years
after that fight, because she doesn't.
Tales of the Underworld takes place after the Clone Wars and after the Empire has been established.
Yeah, so she survived. I forgot that she survived survived that fall.
But it's like right after the beginning of the establishment.
Oh, so
Right?
like right after 66?
Not right after. No.
All right. So Kenobi takes place 10 years after the rise, right? Or is it 5?
Correct.
No, it's 10.
Yeah, it's 10. So the beginning of Tales, where would you say that picks up? It has to be, it's somewhere between that 10 years.
At least, I would say at least after the first year.
Because technically, Quinlan Voss, if memory serves me correctly, he gets sent to kill the Emperor and gets corrupted. And in the process of Asajj reuniting with him, she basically snaps him back to the light side. So yeah, I want to say it's right after.
Because in this point, the part that I was at, she and Lyko are actually in the act of trying to find the path. So they're trying to find Quinlan Voss. So that they said that he was the one that initially established the path. For those of you who don't know, the path is the essentially underground railroad for Jedi or anyone who was rebelling against the Empire.
That's the story they were telling anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's said that Quinlan Voss is the one who established it. So this is after? So I'm just trying to get the lineup because I'm so damn behind, and I think I said it last episode as well. Like I'm so damn behind in my Star Wars that I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of it.
Nah.
But no, so yeah, I was going to say, let's take a step back. Let's talk about like Ventress before she gets to any of this. So if I remember correctly, she was born on Dathomir.
Correct.
And
that's true.
she was in fact a Nightsister before anything.
Yeah.
And she was let's see, environment. So as a part of the Nightsisters, her mother was led by Mother Talzin. Because when she died and they put her to rest on Dathomir, she's awoken by Mother Talzin.
Yes, one of the few people Sidious feared.
I mean, man. First off, then I feel like the Nightsisters in general are a group that you should most definitely 100% fear.
Yeah.
Because that Sith sorcery is some shit, man. Just in general, like that. So, man, when it comes to, you just don't fuck with him. But like, so the Nightsisters were actually forced to give up Asajj in order to protect the clan from some thug named, what was it, like Halstead or some shit like that. And pretty much so they gave her up to him, and then she served him as a slave for a period of time before he was killed by a bunch of pirates. And then she had noticed that there was a Jedi Knight there by the name of, what was it, Kai Narek, if I remember correctly.
Huh.
And pretty much he saw a pirate try to attack him from behind. And so she ends up calling upon the Force that was like her first time calling upon the Force, and threw him away from Narek. And so Narek ended up seeing how strong she was in the Force, ends up taking her in and training her as his apprentice. And that's just coming off the top of my dome from memory. Right?
Okay.
Wrong? Yes, no? Corrections? Any? Did I miss something?
No,
Does triage?
Well, the thing I thought that was interesting is that I never understood something that's never really that's not clarified because
Mhm.
it's implied that that is true, but as far as we know, like she was never taken like back to the temple or anything. She never received like formal, like, oh, I'm bringing you before the council to do X, Y, and Z. Because if that's the case, technically Asajj was too old to start training anyway.
Mhm.
We all know how they feel about that.
Mhm. Mhm. But that would also make sense though. Because if she's a Nightsister, why would he even want to train to bring her back to the council? He could have easily just trained her on his own.
Well, the thing with the Night Sisters is just like they say all the time, that the Force isn't inherently good or evil; it's how you use it. So it's
Mhm.
like when it comes to the Dathomirians, whether it be the males or the females, we've already seen from Darth Maul to Asajj to what's
Morgan.
the chick to Morgan to what's the chick name who runs around with Kel Kestis?
Shit.
yes, she's also a Nightsister.
It starts with a V. Oh, give me a second. I'm trying to remember.
Vera.
I think.
We we've already seen just from the Dathomirians that we from a
Mirren.
handful of them. Yeah, Marin. We've seen from the Dathomirians that we've seen that they're already very proficient in the Force and
Mhm.
and the males, even the females, have a proficiency for combat.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
So it's like
Morgan was nasty with that blade.
the spear too. Like let's not.
Oh yeah, the spear. Yep.
So like they've shown that they have a proficiency for combat and for the Force. So they might just be like a race of people who have that natural affinity for it because we've seen it with other races. So that's
Mhm.
or species, I say. Excuse me. So if
So
anything, a Dathomirian might be an idea Force user, but the question is, how does that work because of the way their beliefs and religion ties into the shit they do?
exactly, and that's exactly why she would have been rejected by the council. We already saw what happened um when it came to Anakin. They already didn't want that they already didn't want him there. But Obi-Wan insisted because he said that's what Qui-Gon wanted, and they respected Qui-Gon because he was on the council, was he not?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they respected Qui-Gon, so it's like,
We will
give
not
him a
make you
shot.
master.
Yeah,
But
we'll give him a shot. They were gonna nerf him anyways, just to keep an eye on him. But when it came to her as a Dathomirian, they were already gonna look at her and be like, you're from Dathomir. Mm, I feel like you have too much of a propensity to fall to the dark side. It's gonna be a no for me, dog.
I would say no to that first and foremost. With the
Mhm.
Skywalker comment, Skywalker is a different scenario because of who Skywalker is. Because
Mhm.
the council had fucked up from Jump Street
Yes.
because no, you know, but the council no. What I mean by that is that they fucked up because now Palpatine knows who he is.
Yeah.
So even if the council hadn't trained him, Palpatine knew who he was now. So they're going to send the fucking slave with this potential back to his planet. All Palpatine had to do was go like, "I'm freeing you and your mother. You're coming with me."
Yeah, and
Well, it
they
wasn't it not Palpatine's plan all along? Because was he not like
no, he
No,
sent Maul to pick him up.
sent Maul to pick who up.
No,
Anakin.
I'm
No,
saying
hold on.
Palpatine and Plagueis helped to create Anakin in the first place. Like it was all part of the plan.
But this is my whole thing. But that, like, even if the council hadn't let him be trained as a Jedi, that'd have been worse because that means that he'd have been trained from 9 years old to be a Sith Lord.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that's true.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. No,
That's-
trust me,
yeah.
I'm not denying with you. Going with them accepting him as Jedi was a better option. I feel like that is also what led to him having his redemption at the end. But yeah, no, if he was trained from Jump Street in the ways of the dark side, there would have been no redemption for him. Because that darkness would have been all he knew. And he would never met Padme. We would have never got Luke and Leia, which were essentially what I saw was kind of like the way I saw it as, and sorry to get off topic. We're getting back to Asajj in a second. The way I saw it as is when she got pregnant, his light side, that good in him, was bestowed into the children. Right? And now then when they were reunited, it was like as if he was looking at his light side again. You know what I'm saying? And that's what kind of gave him that redemption arc in the end. Because he had given up all. And again, I'm going off of just the original 3. I'm not tying in the canon comic where he finds out that Padme actually survived and blah 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 and all that. I'm not even bringing that into it. But yeah, I feel like if he had went to the dark side, there was going to be no redemption for him because Luke and Leia played a part in his redemption, as well as him knowing the good of Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, the little bit that he knew with Qui-Gon, just being around all that goodness is what led to him having that redemption in the end. If he knew nothing but darkness, give it
his
up.
His children helped save him.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know. I just see, and again, like you said, situations. If I would have seen them denying her based off the simple fact that 1, she already had a religion, 2, she was too old, and then 3, I feel like they would have seen her as a liability. The same way, the same way that they rejected what's her name? She was from Acolyte.
Osha?
Osha, yes, Osha. May and Osha. Well, it was Osha. But like, yeah, I just feel like, and then especially at that time, because this is all before Anakin even comes along. Like her coming unrestrained by Kai. That's before
that
Anakin
was when the
even,
Jedi Council was super proud and full of themselves. And
yeah. So before this is before Anakin comes along, because it's like she's with Kai for like at least 10 years. So it was like after Asajj had been trained by Narek in the ways of lightsaber combat and the Force, the two of them ended up battling against the pirates, and one shot her master in the back, killing him. And then enraged, Ventress took her master's lightsaber and killed the killers with both her blades. That's how she ended up rocking the dual blades. Eventually, as Ventress destroyed many of the warlords on the planet and the pirates, let's see, what else was it? Like her doings end up she everything that she was doing ended up getting like found out by Dooku, and that's when that whole situation started there, and that's when they invited her to become his assassin / his apprentice. Yeah. So yeah, all that was like all that was before Anakin came along. So they definitely would have 100% told her hell no. So it makes sense that Narek trained her in secret.
There's been a lot of training in secret.
I was gonna say there is a lot of training in secret going on.
Insanity. That's that.
You know, it is. And my thing is like I don't really know the character of Narek that much. I don't really know him at all, but I can definitely see, you know, a seasoned Jedi master seeing potential in someone and being like, they have a lot of potential. They're gonna say no. But she could be an ally to our cause. And I don't want to go to waste because if she falls to the dark side, we're all fucked. You know what? You know, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. So, you know what I'm saying?
Honestly, this is the same thing as Sidious training Maul, but not actually like naming him Sith Lord, and not the exact same thing, obviously, but
yeah, it's gonna feel like I feel like the intent was very different with those. The intent was highly different with those. Like Palpatine brought him on. No, go ahead. Sorry, continue.
Well, like the aspect that I was touching on is like hiding it, like in secret.
And then the same idea if you're, you know, non-canon looking at Vader and Starkiller. It definitely makes sense. And it's, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of parallels that get drawn in Star Wars between certain groups of characters. It's like it kind of like repeats itself over and over, at least in that aspect of it all. Look at it. Every time someone has trained a Padawan or apprentice in secret, that Padawan and or apprentice ends up turning on them.
Yes.
Look at Starkiller, Maul, even Asajj. She didn't necessarily turn on her master, but she turned on the light side.
Well, hold on. I can't agree with those for one big reason. Each one of them were pawns from Jump Street.
That was the point I was trying to make. They were not. They were pawns. They were not they were just being used and manipulated. And the Jedi were doing that, like both parties. Like both parties are guilty.
If you read Path of Destruction and The Rule of Two and Dynasty of Evil, the Bane trilogy, if you know full well that Bane was training Xana with every intention of making her strong enough to kill him, and he acknowledged that.
Yeah.
Like he was sitting there waiting for it to happen. Like literally to the point where they wouldn't.
When it didn't.
Right.
I was about to say he got mad when it wasn't coming. He was like, you know what? This bitch hasn't tried to kill me yet. I mean, I know she's strong enough, but like,
I mean, he said to himself, but she hasn't even at least tried. Like what?
Not even an attempt. What is going on? Like when I read that, I felt as if he was like a jilted lover. It's like, man, like she hasn't even tried to hug me. Like, does she not like me anymore? But no, you're right. You definitely make a solid point on that. They were both of you guys. They're all pawns, but the difference is that, like you said, Bane was training her with the intent of becoming the Sith Lord. On the other hand, while Starkiller was only made as a pawn to take out Sidious.
Well, it depends because that's what the story that Vader told him But the Emperor, it's implied the Emperor knew about him all along, because the Emperor he was using Star Killer to flush out the Emperor's enemies. Like Star Killer is directly responsible for creating the Rebel Alliance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Then if you look at Maul. Maul was Sidious's acolyte. He was his assassin. He was training him. And Plagueis knew about Maul, but Plagueis didn't care.
Yeah, that's completely true.
And by the time Sidious had come to power, people felt like the rule of two, Plagueis included, people felt like the rule of two was extinct anyway. The rule of two didn't help because it limited their number so badly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes. More parties to help.
And it's like, all right, you can have,
even though you might not actually be like an actual Sith, but you're still not limited to two.
Well, the thing with that also is too, like Bane said, like, why is it we don't use the Darth title anymore? And he was like, the Saber Master told him, like, the Darth title marked you as a target for the Jedi, let your enemies know who you were. It invited strife because the person below you who wanted the title would always try to challenge you. So it's like there can only ever be one Grand Master of the Sith. And it's like how regardless of what it is, if there's apprentices below you, especially if you're training more than one, they'll work in conjunction to take you out. So it's like, and then whoever's stronger at them will take the title until the one who's not can take it from that one. So it's like, in that concept, like Maul truly believed he was next in line.
Yeah.
He believed that shit with every fiber of his being. He was next in line because people always said. Matter of fact, Sam Witwer himself said like he never understood why Maul had this undying loyalty to Sidious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Have we done an episode on Maul?
I believe so.
I'm not sure top of my head.
I'll look back. See this. I kind of love this. It's the fact that like we've done so many episodes that we forgetting if we even went over a character or not.
I mean, we talked about him, like, definitely, but
Yeah,
I don't know if we've done an actual episode.
Yeah, because we did. Because I'm gonna go back.
I've read because I remember talking about the book.
Shadowhunters.
No, the other one, where he's in prison.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, yep. And he literally kills a lot of people in prison.
It had been on our last Star Wars month, so I'm gonna have to bring it all the way back to last year. But
Lockdown.
Yes, Lockdown.
Maul Lockdown.
Okay. So yeah, like Maul literally thought he was next. Like Maul thought he was going to inherit the title, he was going to inherit the throne, the Emperor was going to be his. But Sidious wasn't following the rule of two no more because he was replacing the rule of two with the rule of one.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the whole thing with him trying to achieve immortality. So like from that aspect, it's like some of them already should have seen this coming because like when Dooku finally gets the order from Sidious, like Asajj is no longer necessary, and he's like, but she's a powerful ally. He goes, that's exactly the point. He's like, I'm not worried about her being an ally anymore. I'm worried about her becoming a rival.
Mm.
And that happens with Maul again too in the Clone Wars when Maul takes over training his brother Savage, and then Maul starts to rule Dathomir, and then he becomes the leader of the Death Watch. And then you see how that transcends with him becoming the leader of the Red Dawn. So like Sidious goes to him with every intention of like, yo, you're gonna get put back in your place because now you've become too powerful. And then if they start asking questions about you or you get caught, you start talking about me.
I'll kill you.
Yeah.
Basically is what he tells him.
It looks like sorry to interrupt. It looks like we do not have an episode on Maul. We got Starkiller, Kenobi, Bane, and Mandalore.
Oh,
that's
okay.
interesting.
Well, shit, we can do Maul next.
Absolutely, 100%, and it just makes sense since they just announced his show. So fuck it, let's do it.
Right. So like, yeah, you see the way that guy gets put into place with Maul, and then like he was like, all right, you get caught, you start talking, that becomes a liability for me, because you even see it when Maul talks to Ahsoka. Like, yo, I finally understand what my master's plan was. I finally get why he's done everything he's done. And then she says, and then he's the one who tells Ahsoka, like, yeah, he was like, yo, your master is about to become my master's apprentice. Like he's been groomed for his position for over a decade now.
Yeah.
She's like,
remember when he realizes that. That's it's crazy.
And the wild part is that Maul's the only one who did. Maul is the only one who did. That's like when you guys saying like, oh, what if they just sent Anakin back to Tatooine like that? If any, like I said, that's why I said if anything, that would have been worse.
No, like, absolutely.
Could you imagine an Anakin Skywalker who had been trained from like 9 years old by Sidious?
My God. My God. That's scary.
That's terrifying.
Like imagine
Palpatine was a better duelist. He was really good.
And then here's the thing too. Because if you watched Tales of the Jedi, Jay, have you seen it?
No, I didn't finish it. I touched on it.
What about you, Power?
No, I didn't finish it. I did touch on it though.
So if you watch Tales of the Jedi, there are episodes that are just about Dooku. So we know full well that Dooku becomes Sidious' apprentice, and it's implied that he's the one that creates the clone army and does the whole thing with Jango. We already know that because he's revealed to be Lord Tyrannus, right? So it's revealed that Dooku knew about Sidious as far back as the Phantom Menace.
Yes, because at that point, Dooku already has feelings of hate to the Jedi, but he has not dropped yet.
Like he had already walked away from the Order and everything, because it's revealed that Dooku is actually very wealthy. Like his family owns an entire planet.
Yeah.
And how like he got taken away from his family as a kid. Now he wound up going back to his home planet during like a festival, and when he finds out who he is and what he can inherit, he's devastated. He's blown away. So it's like, and it's revealed that he actually went as far as keeping in contact with his sister after he left the planet.
Oh.
Which is another thing, like, Jedi aren't supposed to have attachments.
Yeah. So it's just a little foreshadowing there for you.
Right? So he became very disillusioned with that type of behavior and everything that was going on, because he saw a wealthy family who was responsible for providing for an entire family fail it. And then it's his watching a wealthy family that's supposed to provide for a planet fail it. And then it's his family on top of that. So after the events of the Phantom Menace, Dooku goes to Sidious and goes, "Why Maul killed Qui-Gon? He wasn't supposed to do that." So Qui-Gon basically, it's said that Qui-Gon and Dooku had a very difficult relationship, but Dooku did love him like a son. And they said that the reason why Qui-Gon was a lot more fatherly to Obi-Wan is because Dooku wasn't that way to him. But the reason why Dooku treated him the way he did is because he saw the way Qui-Gon was. He goes, "You're going to be the one who the council doesn't like. You're going to be the one the council tells X, Y, and Z. You're going to be the one who the second you go to do what you think is right, you're ostracized."
Yeah.
He's like, you're going to have to stand on what you believe in, regardless of what's going on around you. That's why Qui-Gon was the way he was.
Yeah,
But
and that's exactly what Dooku is thinking in his own head.
because he tried to be the good student in everything, especially being Yoda's apprentice. And it's like, then once he saw the hypocrisy of everything going on in the galaxy, or found out about shit that he wasn't supposed to, it's like, yo, this ain't all right. How
Yeah.
did you guys fail so epically and then keep this shit under wraps?
Because again, he tried to tell Obi-Wan what was going on.
But he did, but he didn't. So like, here's the thing with that. So like when Qui-Gon dies, Maul goes to Sidious and tells him like, yo, what happened? Sidious's response was, Maul is dead. I lost an apprentice, so did you. He basically told him like, nigga, we're even. He's like, nah, you can't pull that card right now, my guy. That's not what was supposed to happen. He goes, Qui-Gon could have been a very powerful ally to us and what it is we're trying to do, because Dooku had already groomed him to question shit that was going on, and that's what he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
That's the reason why he didn't have a seat on the council, because he was an unconventional Jedi.
Yep.
And if anything, and this is the thing too, like if you look at the parodies between Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan were very different in the way they handled shit. And I think that is also one of the reasons why Anakin Skywalker suffers so much mentality-wise.
That's interesting.
Now, if you go with Asajj and look at the way Dooku trained Asajj, he didn't want an apprentice. He didn't want someone to get close to. He wanted a weapon, and that's what he got. But then the second he turned on Asajj and was like, yo, you're no longer useful to me, you see the way she dedicated every moment to try to destroy him.
Yeah.
Hey, you cross a Nightsister at your own risk, my guy. I don't know what he was thinking with that.
Yeah, that should be, man, dude. Come on now.
Dooku's too proud to even realize his own stupidity.
I feel like it would be after the fact. After the fact of, I feel like he was smart enough to sit back and be like, that probably wasn't the smartest way to go about doing that.
Well, but I also think the issue with him was that Dooku had this thing about getting his hands dirty.
Yeah.
Like, too many Sith are also quick to be like, yo, I'm going to use someone else to get this job done, opposed to handling it themselves.
That's very true.
Everybody's heard that age-old saying, if you want something done right,
do it yourself.
So Sidious needs Padme to get killed to make the Separatists happy. So instead of Sidious killing Padme, he tells Dooku to kill Padme. But Dooku doesn't want to do it himself. So Dooku hires Jango Fett to kill Padme. But Jango doesn't want to do it himself. So Jango sends the fucking changeling. And even that bitch don't do it herself. She sends the fucking robot with the parasitic worms in.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yo, that's crazy, yo.
That's funny.
That's fucking. I never thought about it like that. That's crazy. I mean, at least okay. So it makes sense for the bounty hunter. Because she's such a high profile kill. You don't want it to look like a legit assassination. You're gonna poison her. It will make sense. It's gonna be poison. Right?
I want to know how do the worms know exactly where to go? That's what I want to know.
Oh shit! Yeah, there was like some heat-seeking ass worms.
They don't have eyeballs. Okay.
Like what the fuck? Did it like make them like sniff an article of her clothing and go, "Sicker boy, sicker"? Like, it's a small detail, but it's funny. It's a small ass detail, but it's funny as hell. But and now all this makes sense as of why Asajj was such a perfect, candidate for the position. Because again, like you just said, Dooku doesn't want to get his hands dirty. So he's going to send somebody else to do it. But at the same time, they're all making moves in silence. They're making all these big moves in the background. So, of course, you know what I mean? He wants to be seen as Count Dooku, not Darth Tyrannus. So, of course, he's going to have... So, while he's playing Count Dooku, he needs somebody to be moving as his hand.
And the funny thing is, I'm actually in the middle of a book that's about Dooku that's called Dooku Jedi Lost.
Ooh.
And how Asajj gets tasked by Dooku to go find his sister because his sister's been kidnapped.
Oh, shit.
So she basically asks him, like, why don't you just take care of it? And the second she says that to him, like, his hands spark with electricity and she, like, jumps back. And Asajj realizes that one of the big things about him is he doesn't like to get his hands dirty. He doesn't like to be in the middle of shit. But that's because he is playing a character. Like, Jay, have you seen Sinners?
What was it? Sinners?
Yes.
No.
The movie that just came out, Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, no. I know what you're talking about, though.
Okay, so...
highly recommend you watch that.
Okay.
Yes,
so
definitely spend the money. Go ahead.
So, like, perfect example. Like, when you see... Like, because, Power, you'll get this reference a little bit more. Like, when you see, like, the brothers' relationships with their ladies.
Mm-hmm.
You see Smoke with Annie, you see Stack with Mary, right? Like you notice that their ladies are only ones that call them by their names.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because like Smoke doesn't have to be Smoke; he can be Elijah.
Mm-hmm.
Like Stack doesn't have to be Stack; he can be Elias. So like they actually see them for who they are and embrace them for who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they felt so comfortable and were able to be vulnerable around them. So, like, Dooku's whole thing is he saw vulnerability as a weakness. Like, you're not going to get to see who I really am. You're going to get to see who I show you.
Mm-hmm. Because that gives him anonymity, gives him the ability to do whatever the fuck it is that he truly wants to do. While it's a magician's greatest trick is redirection. While you're over here looking at what's going on in my left hand, I already done slid the card to my back and slipped into Shorty's pantyhose over on the left. But you ain't seen me do it because you're paying attention to what I'm showing you.
Right. And see, like, I think what's happening in the story is that Asajj is getting sent to find his sister just so Dooku can kill her.
Huh. Because she's a weakness to him.
Exactly.
She knows who he really is.
Like when he sends Asajj to go find her to go check out her last known whereabouts, he gives her all these holo recordings that they've made back and forth for over the years. Like Dooku meets her before he's even able to own his own lightsaber.
Oh wow! So it was early.
Yeah. So they've literally kept back and they've kept in contact for the last 40, 50 years.
Oh shit.
Because you figure Dooku's an older man by the time the Clone War starts.
Yeah, he's full grade.
So I think when Asajj sends Asajj out to go get her, he goes, my enemies would never stop once they found out about her. They'd torture her, they'd hurt her to get information out of her about me. And she goes, the Jedi don't torture, that's not their thing. And he goes, are you sure about that? Are you sure that's the truth? He goes, I'm a criminal. He goes, who's to say what they would do or wouldn't do? Who's to say that what they would let happen or wouldn't let happen? He's like, I'm not taking that chance. And I wasn't so more sure if it was the fact that he was worried about something happening to her or whether he was worried about her telling him something that he told her that he wasn't necessarily supposed to tell her.
Yeah.
Like, I really think that Asajj is going to bring her back and be like, yo, I found her. Like, Dooku embraced her and, like, run her through.
Mm-hmm.
And when Asajj goes, like, you know, why would you do that? Like, he's killing his own weakness.
And then she's going to just get mad.
Mm-hmm. But
right
now, after he explained it to her, I feel like at first she'd be tight. Because, like, I know you guys didn't have me do all this goddamn work just for you to kill her. But then when he explains everything, I think she's like, all right, makes sense. But now in that moment, she would have also a better understanding of the kind of person that he is. And that at that point, that would depend, that would pretty much dictate whether she decided to keep rocking with him or dip. Because, like, wow, if he's gonna run his own sister through just for knowing who he is,
what would he do to me?
Do with me?
Right? But it's also one of those things, like, where she can't run because there's nowhere in the galaxy she'd be safe.
Exactly.
The Emperor had spies everywhere.
Him himself, like, yeah.
And then the other thing that I thought that was really interesting is that when you see the way Dooku is presented in this book, because, like, Asajj notes everything about him, like how pressed his uniform is, the way he wears his cloak, the way he carries his lightsaber, like even like the style of it. Because there's like a scene like where she's sitting in the cabin and she's basically like reflecting on him and how his boots are always well polished. He's always very well pressed. Like the things he owns, the stuff he has, it's like it's very pristine. It's like you stepping in his office would be like you. I don't want to make this reference, so I'll think of something else. Well, I was about to say it was like if you've ever seen 50 Shades of Grey, it's like talking to Christian Grey, like how pristine his shit was. It's like he's almost like serial killer to the point with how thorough he is with everything he does.
Yeah.
But Asajj realizes that that's the facade.
Oh.
Like, he doesn't give a shit about the expensive tapestries and the pressed clothes and everything else. It gives him an air of success. It shows that he is regal. It shows that he's all these things that Dooku has expired his life to be, that he's not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing, with him having the count title, like he is a count because his family is wealthy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Man, listen, give us 1 second, y'all. We will be right back. So I have an interesting question for you guys. All right. All of our viewers who are watching, I got an interesting question for you guys. Before we take this quick break, are you tired of hearing the same old voices in your feed? Because I know I am. You know, I got Trevor Noah's ear over here. I got Bert Kreischer and shit. What's his name? The hell's the other name from Two Bears, One Cave? I can't remember. Tom Segura over here. I got all these voices in my feed. If you're tired of the same old voices, I suggest y'all tap into the Indie Primetime, right? So, if you don't know, the Indie Primetime is a collective of your favorite indie and blurred podcasts that have joined forces to bring you the freshest takes on everything from underground gyms to mainstream madness. I'm talking comics, culture, commentary, all unfiltered. So, like, whether you're deep in the indie trenches, like, you know, paying attention to Midnight Comics and everything they're doing, and quite a few others, or vibing with the blurred elites, you know, tuning into the mainstream comics, Superman, Batman, so on and so forth. We got your next Ben's here. So I promise you, follow the movement, plug into the conros, and I'm telling you, you will not be sorry. But you know what? Let me just show you what the Indie Primetime has to offer. Because I mean, I don't expect y'all to take my word for it. So let's just see what that's it. I'm just saying, it's not like I'm a podcaster or anything. It's not like, our podcast is on there or anything, but let's just see what they got.
Welcome to the Super Breakdown Podcast, where cosmic tales unfold. Join Power Maximus, Lord Triage, and the Darth Legacy Jason M40 on a journey through heroic realms, where legends are born and destinies entwine. Delve into the cosmic currents, unraveling the mysteries of superheroes, villains, and champions. Embrace the cosmic energy that binds us all, and let your journey begin. This is the Super Breakdown Podcast. Enter the cosmic saga.
What? Yeah. What? Understand I got a lot on my mind, a lot on my chest.
Starting a war with these stars, you won't get far. This is the way you play a game of life or death star. So far removed from the drama, we don't notice harm, but won't hesitate to shed a light like a Patronus charm. With mischief managed, troubles at a disadvantage. Must be something in the water, dip your toe because you know it's warm. Where can you find another show with such a fine cast? And if you try to box them in, they playing Minecraft. And basically the sum made up like you define math. This crew's the best and it figures like a line graph. I'm Mary band like the words I do. Level-headed, you don't have to have absurd IQ. They know you can relate because they're nerds like you. With their help, you'll see the world from a blur's eye view. Yeah. You are now tuned in to Blur's Eye View. And without further ado, we out.
All right, and we're back. Like I said, it's not like we're a part of the group or anything. But I'm just saying, seriously, go check everybody out on that list. We're talking about Room Full of Blurs. We're talking about us, of course, as well. Super Breakdown Podcast. Check out the Indie Breakdown. Check out Blur's Eye View. Check out Melanin Minds. We got anything like we covered such a large variety of all things nerd, blurred, and comic centric. But we got a few comments here, so let's give a shout out to everyone in the comments here. Shout out to Sassy J of Midnight Comics. What's up? What's up, everybody? Let's give a shout out to the Gamers Haven. Yo. And yes, we most definitely love the music. Oh man, it's in our blood. Music's in our blood. Music and rhythm. But yeah, Asajj Ventress. For those of you just tuning in, we are talking about Dooku's #1 hitman and hit woman and assassin, and also his apprentice, Asajj Ventress. Before we cut away, we had just spoken about her past, her upbringing, how she became his apprentice and head assassin, right? And then from there, we went on a little side rant about Dooku himself, which perfectly tied into pretty much how it's perfect that Asajj was his hitman, just based off of Dooku or Tyrannus's personality. So they just dropped. How long ago did Tales of the Underworld drop?
Less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, less than 2 weeks ago. The first 3 episodes are about Asajj Ventress after her death. So I'm not going to say any more than that on that. So go definitely check that out. Tune into that. I literally was just starting the 3rd episode when the show started. Yeah, I can't wait. Tachi J says they were good. I'm liking it so far. I'm just waiting for the jump on this 3rd episode. It's gonna be awesome. I cannot wait to get through this. And then the last 3 episodes are about Cad, right? Cad Bane.
Yes, I was never a Cad Bane fan. I never saw the draw. I don't know. I don't really care for the bounty hunters of the Star Wars universe.
Honestly, Cad Bane is just alien Clint Eastwood.
What?
He's like an alien Clint Eastwood from Dirt. What is it? The old
Dirty
Western.
Harry.
Yeah, Dirty. No, not Dirty Harry. I mean,
Talking about like
Dirty Harry.
You're talking about like the man with no name, like a fistful of dollars. It's like, get the fuck out of here! What?
Really? No? Really? No? I'm wrong. Come on now. How so?
No, yeah, I don't think I can co-sign that one. I don't think he's badass enough to give him that type of title.
Oh no. So I'm no, I don't mean badass of it. I'm just talking about the way, like that. This is the way I always saw it. It's just like he's an alien Westerner. He's an alien cowboy. You know what I'm saying? That no disrespect to Clint Eastwood. No disrespect whatsoever. But like,
well, no,
that's just the way that I've always seen his character as. Just. You know what I mean? He's a bounty hunter. He just has that. Anytime he's a part of anything, it's all just like it. Like the show becomes a Western. Look at the way he when we see him live action in season 2 of Mando. That whole scene where he ends up having a whole shoot off. What the fuck were they called? Standoff. With what's his name? Who had the Jango's armor? No, was it Jango or Boba's armor?
Oh,
yeah, it was Boba's armor, right? Yeah. Well, technically both. It's Boba's armor, but it was Jango's armor first. But yeah, the whole scene, the whole episode it became a Western. The whole episode became a Western. But technically, Mando is technically supposed to be it's supposed to be a space Western. But I just felt like that was like super, super Western. Super Western. Yeah. But even then, I guess my problem with him is I don't know a lot about him. You know what I mean? My problem is I don't know a lot about him. I know he's supposed to be a badass, bounty hunter, but I'm sorry. He just ain't got the cool ass gear like the Mandalorians. I'm sorry. He ain't got Mandalorian gear, so I don't really fucks with him like that.
They are wearing Beskar.
Right. He ain't wearing no shiny ass Beskar. I don't want to hear. But so when it comes to Asajj, right? Where was I? Yeah, I started off talking about Tales of the Underworld. Before Tales of the Underworld, was there any even speaking or talk about Asajj? Like she died. That's it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Say that again, please.
So when it came to Asajj Ventress and where we're seeing her now, Was there any talks about this in any other literature, or is this story is brand new, a new extension onto her story?
Are we talking about the whole thing with the Tales of the Underworld?
Yeah.
Yes, that's brand new because Asajj Ventress had her story reach its climactic end in the book with Quinlan Voss, but I think they kind of retcon that, whether they're going to use her in live action or they're going to move forward with it, because technically, Asajj is still alive now, so it's like she basically got told, like, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen Tales of the Underworld, that she basically got told by Mother Talzin that the only way she could come back was to give up what she desired most. And in that case, it was Quinlan Voss. That's why she stayed away from him.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she necessarily didn't go in search of him. So it's like the second she got too close, she turned around with the opposite direction. But it's like,
again, I haven't finished episode 3 yet, so I don't know.
So I think it was more one of those things like where it wasn't so much that she was looking for him as she was looking for purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Because, the clone, and this is the wild part, because this is one of the things I always thought that was weird, because the clone troopers are never specifically sanctioned about certain Jedi. They just go after Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole thing with the Inquisitors. Anyone who can use the Force isn't necessarily a Jedi. Anyone who carries a lightsaber isn't necessarily a Jedi.
Yeah, that's true.
So they attacked a lot of people. Because they see the weapon. Like when the clone troopers first see Darth Vader, they have no clue who he is. So they attacked him.
Oh, yes, they did.
I'm pretty sure that didn't go well for them.
No.
And it literally,
and then it literally also got to the point because the Moffs and the Moffs didn't know who he was either. So it's like all the high-ranking members of the Empire, Vader would speak to them or give them orders, and they're like, who are you?
Yeah.
So it literally got to the point where Palpatine had to call like a meeting and tell everyone, like, Vader's my right hand. He's like, you respect the word he says like it came from my mouth, and everyone's like, oh.
I can just see. I can just see that.
Yeah.
I can just see how that phone call went. Like, hey, yo, here's. Hey, yo, Sidious. They not listening to me, man. Do you know how many people I just killed that are supposed to be helping us? Can you call these motherfuckers and let them know that I'm the new nigga in charge? Because apparently you ain't sent out the memo.
Yeah, the email was held back. Can you please do something?
You forgot you forgot a few motherfuckers on that memo. Clearly they don't know. Well, how many did you kill? How many regiments did you put on this planet? 75. 75 regiments. God damn it, Vader. I could just see that playing out like that. God damn it. All right, I'm calling a meeting. Hey, yo, listen. Y'all need to listen to this motherfucker. I know it's kind of hard with the whole heavy breathing and everything, but yeah, y'all need to listen to him. I know I get kind of tired of hearing him in my ear all the time too. I get it.
Don't piss him off.
And don't piss him off. He has a bad temper. If you like your insides being inside, don't piss him off. I mean, unless you like being choked. Go ahead, piss him off if you like being choked.
No king shaming.
No king shaming here. If you like to be choked, fine. That's fine. If you like to be choked from the other room, definitely piss him off.
Oh shit!
He pulled the black dynamite. I choked that bitch before I left the room. We got to do an episode on Black Dynamite, man. Just because we got to do a Black Dynamite.
Never seen it.
You've never seen Black Dynamite?
Nope.
Dynamite. All right. Yes. All right. Some homework, and this is homework for you, Jay. When you get a chance, watch Black Dynamite, the live action movie with Michael J. White. Fucking hilarious. Boy. It is gold. It is literally gold. It's a black exploitation parody film. Yeah, so it's pretty funny. We got our comment section going crazy about the fact that y'all never seen Black Dynamite. And then you got, I guess if you want, you can watch the series. It's they did an animated series off the show.
Yeah,
It was on.
I have seen the one episode about Michael Jackson. Other than that,
yes. Yes. But so where do you think her story is gonna go? So the Tales in the Underworld is like the start. It's at the start of the Empire, right?
yes, because you see it's definitely at that point, because you see that there are stormtroopers still running around chasing rogue Jedi and everything like that. So I think that with Asajj being who she is, because Asajj is no slouch in lightsaber combat, she's can decently wield the Force, and yet she's shown that she can use dark side and light side.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see her using it like brutally within her saber combat and her attacks, and you see her going as far as using a mind trick on a stormtrooper.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like she's shown that she's more finesse now. And then, like, if you noticed, her saber color is yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Because
are we still even going like by the saber colors?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, yellow is not, you know.
Okay, just checking, because I don't. It's my whole thing is I just wonder if is it actually canon? Is the Star Wars shows canon? That has always been a question of mine, because it's always been back and forth if the actual colors meant what it's said to mean. What yellow's what is yellow? I forget. A sentinel, right?
Yes.
And then blue is
Guardian,
and green is someone who's became a master in the Force. And then purple's for the bad motherfuckers.
So my thing with the yellow lightsaber, the yellow signifies well, because it is the opposite end of the spectrum with the green. So because Ahsoka's lightsaber was green. Not Ahsoka, excuse me, I'm sorry, Asajj's lightsaber was green. So I think it's one of those things like where, while if you don't mix green and red together, you don't get yellow. Remember, but it's one of those things like where you can see how she's reached a balance between the dark side and the light, and she's okay with being in the middle. And I think so much the yellow being a century color signifies that she's willing to protect herself and what she cares for.
Which makes sense, because that's what, and again, spoilers coming up for if you haven't seen Tales of the Underworld on Disney Plus. I'm just giving you one now. 3, 2, 1. If you haven't clicked away, you're getting spoiled. But we see it with Lyko. We see her protecting Lyko, and she tells him straight up. She's like, when they're going to steal that detection array or whatever, he was like, they know I'm a Jedi. She's like, of course they know you're a Jedi. He's like, what? And literally, she had just told him, you smell like a Jedi. And she's like, if they try anything funny, kill him. And then she goes so far as to make her way after they push her off of the ship to take him, because they didn't get the piece that they were looking for. So it's like, all right, we'll get the money for you. She goes back to save him. Not to mention, off rip, as soon as she sees him try to use the mind trick, she was like, okay, yeah, buddy, come on. Yeah, you don't want to be here. Come on, buddy. Yep. Just going on right out the door there. You already know you should not be here right now. You got to go. Opens the door, sees all the stormtroopers, is like, oh, yeah, never mind. Get behind the desk. Like, off rip is willing to protect him.
Right? When the old Asajj might have just drew her saber and killed them all.
Yep, absolutely.
And then she'd have killed the chick who sold him out. So yeah, Like,
oh yeah,
so
I was
think,
surprised. I was surprised she didn't do anything to her. At least a kick in the groin or something.
that's where we're supporting cunt punts now. That's the type of time you're on.
Yeah.
We are supporting cunt punts. Copy. Good to know. Fucking fool. But no, but it's also shown that see,
I was not expecting you to say cunt punts. Yo, that shit took me all the way out just now. But hey, yes, I support it. If you're being a cunt, you get cunt punched.
okay, so it's also shown because you haven't seen the Bad Batch.
No, I have not. Yes, I know everyone's gonna yell at me. I know. Go ahead.
Now, the Bad Batch appear at the end of the Clone Wars series, and the Bad Batch are revealed to be a squadron of clone troopers who are all enhanced with desirable traits. And this was after the defective clone 99 saved Kamino from being destroyed.
Mm.
The defective 99th clone was sent to janitor duty, and then when he found out Kamino was being attacked, he actually literally saved the facility and saved all the clones in the process. So they proceeded to take clones with desirable traits from one that was an enhanced marksman to one that was enhanced with super strength. Another one was a tech wizard, and another one had heightened senses. And they put them together, and they took the code name. They were Clone Force Unit 99 after that clone that saved Kamino. They called themselves the Bad Batch because the 99th clone was from a bad batch.
Mm-hmm.
So when the Bad Batch finds out about the Jedi turning traitor, since the Bad Batch are all enhanced clones, their chips didn't trigger.
No, they didn't.
So the Bad Batch are like, what do you mean the Jedi are enemies of the Republic? What do you mean that the Republic's being reformed into a new galactic empire? What do you mean we're hunting down and killing the Jedi? And all of a sudden, all the other clones, snap to attention like a bunch of Nazis, and they're like, something's going on here. I don't know what's going on, but I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're back on Kamino, and this is right before Kamino gets decommissioned and shut down, they meet a young clone who's a female, that's codename Omega.
Mm-hmm.
And how there's something extremely off about Omega, but no one knows what it is. Omega is revealed to have an extremely high metachlorian count.
Yep, I was just about to say she's force sensitive.
It's not said that she is or isn't because you don't necessarily see her wield the force.
Okay.
But she has an extremely high metachlorian count. So they start asking about this, like, what are metachlorians? What does this mean? Like, why does a clone have them? So they were like, we're not sure. The person that they were talking to was like, we're not sure how or why that is, but I can see if I can't put you in touch with someone who might. And who is the person who comes to see her but Asajj Ventress?
Oh, okay.
And Asajj basically puts her through tests and realizes, like, Omega's doesn't have potential to be a Jedi or a Force wielder, but there's something about her that's extremely different.
All right.
Yeah.
And it's revealed that the Emperor had also been experimenting on children who all had extremely high metachlorian counts.
Yes.
And if you've watched The Mandalorian, you knew that's what Moff Gideon was doing to Grogu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what he was trying to do.
Yep.
So I think the whole thing with her goes back to the whole thing with Gideon. Like, they were trying to make people who weren't force sensitive would be able to wield the force.
They were trying to make clone. Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying since they couldn't clone, air quote, clone Jedi, they're trying to find people who happen to have a high metachlorian rate or to create them, as because of course, why would you not want an entire army full of people that can wield the force?
A planet being cracked into, the thought bomb. I can think of a few other reasons, but
absorbing the life out of an entire
planet.
Come on now, turning organic material into biomex. Come on now.
So I could think of a few reasons, but no. So I think that was the case, and it's like Asajj basically tests her and tells Hunter, who's the leader of the Bad Batch, like, yo, you need to be very mindful of this moving forward. It's already bad enough you guys are branded traitors against the Empire because everyone was looking for them.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, you have a child who's force sensitive, who has a not force sensitive, but has a high M count. And he's like, her metachlorian count is so high that if the Empire ever finds about her, they won't stop till they get her.
Yeah.
But like, you think you guys are under a microscope now? She's like, you know nothing. And he was like, how is it you know this, and why is it you feel this way? And so Hunter, Asajj tells him, like, I've seen both sides of these orders, and it's like they're both hypocritical. They both only want what they want. They're both self-serving. There's nothing that's going to be done by either side that's going to work in her favor.
They'll just use her.
Yeah. And it's like, and the wild part is that if you have seen anything from a Star Killer to Ahsoka to Asajj Ventress, you've seen these apprentices who, for whatever reason, have all started off on one side to move closer to the other to find a balance and realize, like, yeah, this is a bunch of hypocrisy. I don't want no part of it.
Mm-hmm. They're both on some bullshit. I'm good.
Like, Asajj literally says in the animated series, when Dooku starts talking about the Jedi, she says the Jedi, she's like corrupt and arrogant. Their order is a fleeting light in the darkness. The Jedi shall fall. Like, she literally had, like, she was disgusted. She was done. And it's like, then you see, like, when she starts working for Dooku and realizes he's a hypocrite too, she's like, yeah, I've got no interest in none of this shit.
Huh. I gotta go.
But yeah, no, it makes complete sense. It makes complete sense. It happens every single time. Didn't I say this last episode? We see so many Jedi, air quote, fall to the dark side, but then we also seen quite a few Sith go to the light. But in that same breath, we've seen a lot of them just say, fuck them both.
Well, I think it's like I said before, it's the thing with Star Killer and Ahsoka and the parody with them. Mm-hmm. It's like, is Ahsoka, because Ahsoka's always quick to say, I'm no Jedi. But if anything, in my opinion, Ahsoka's more of what an actual Jedi should be.
Exactly what a true Jedi should be.
Just like how, okay, you have the same thing with Cal Kestis or Galen Merrick. If anything, they're more towards what it is. Like, maybe the whole thing isn't that you're supposed to pick one side or the other. Maybe you're supposed to acknowledge the best you can from both teachings and live your life accordingly. Like, you a Game of Thrones fan?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So there's an age-old saying, it's that anyone who tries to be good all the time will fall to ruin for those around them who are not good all the time. Mm-hmm. It doesn't pay to be an honorable person in a room full of dishonorable people. Ned Stark tried to be the honorable person in a room full of dishonorable people. Look what happened to him.
Yeah, he died.
Robb Stark tried to be the honorable man in a room full of dishonorable people. Look what happened to him.
Got hit by a boy.
Jon Snow, so on and so forth. Like, you can't always
throwing off the wall.
You can't always be the good guy if you're surrounded by nothing but evil people. There's nothing wrong with being bad, just don't be evil.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, like, you have to find the balance in that. Like, another big thing, like Leonardo, and the fact that he's the only one of the Ninja Turtles that wields a bladed weapon. Like, he was given his weapons to understand that he can constantly attack while defending at the same time. You have to understand, like, while your honor code is a beautiful, precious thing and it defines who you are, don't let it define you so heavily it gets you killed. you need to understand that sometimes the best way for you to protect a life is for you to be able to take another one.
Mm-hmm.
It's deep.
No, you're absolutely fucking right, bro. Absolutely fucking right. Like, and again, it goes back to what Freddie Prinze Jr. said. Like you said quite a few times throughout the show, the Force isn't inherently good. It's not inherently evil. It's how
It's
you
just
use it.
there.
It's just there. It's about how you use it. And that goes all the way back to the beginning to the first Force users, right? The whole shit was there was, and I don't even know if this is canon. This is just a story that I heard, right? This is a story that I heard that it it was just a bunch of people living on a planet that just so happened to be in tune with the Force, right? And there came a time where there was a group of people that said, you know what? Yeah, I'm just going to be here and I'm going to be in tune with the Force. I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to do whatever. But then there was the other side that was like, hey, no, man, I can lift shit with my mind. I can lift boulders twice my size. I can do all these great things. I can jump to new heights and stuff like that. And they didn't like that. And people were like, well, and then the people that were meditating on it said, well, hey, that's not what it's supposed to be used for. And then there started to be a back and forth between the two. And so the ones who decided that, hey, we're going to use the Force for what we want to use it for, they decided to go and they left to one of the moons of that planet. And this is where you see the first, the first split within the Force being light side and dark side. The one wanted to use the Force for their own good, and the others wanted to be at peace and at tune with the Force. There was no Sith title yet. There was no Jedi title yet. It was just those who are in tune and those who use. And again, it comes down to how you use it.
Yes.
And I don't know if that's the canon story of how the light and dark whole ideology and concept started. I don't know if the idea of proto sabers, because that's when proto sabers and shit like that came into play. I don't even know if all that's canon. But that's just a story that I heard. And when it comes to a character like Asajj, you know what I mean? Again, like we said, she moving from the light to the dark and then getting to the point where it's like, you know what? Both Sith and Jedi are hypocritical and are going to be the downfall of, essentially, they're going to be the downfall of each other. And, because the Sith are already on a regular basis are the downfall of themselves because of their code and their creed. And then the Jedi are going to be the downfall of themselves because of their level of arrogance. And they're unwilling to look at any other perspectives that are not Jedi and the Jedi Order. Did you know that Jedi is actually seen as in IRL, seen as an actual religion?
That's crazy.
No, like legit. So when I was going through basic training, there was a dude there that had Jedi on his name tag for religion, because your dog tags will have all your information on it, including your religion. And it said Jedi on it. And I'm like, bro, yo, how did you get that? He's like, oh no, Jedi is an actual religion.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay. Interesting. But no, they were the downfall based off their own arrogance. So for Asajj to be in the middle after seeing the BS from both sides, yeah, I don't know. It makes a lot of sense. And I'm thoroughly enjoying her character. First of all, I enjoyed her character before tales as well. But honestly, I had forgotten about her character. I was saying that my first time being introduced to her was in the 2D animated Clone Wars shorts, and I loved her. She was fierce, she was vicious, she was unrelenting, she was a fucking force to be reckoned with, not to be reckoned with. You didn't want to fuck with her. She was a fucking force. And so I like this turn that they're giving her. And again, I am so behind. So behind. Triage, by the way, your mic's muted if you didn't know. Like I thoroughly enjoy her character. Because let me clarify. I enjoy the characters, and it's the same reason why I enjoy Ahsoka is because they're not they're not Jedi necessarily. They're not Sith either. They've become people who just do the right thing just because it's doing the right thing.
I know that we don't like the term gray Jedi.
Don't do it. Don't do
Yeah.
it. Please don't do it. Please don't do it. Oh God, his mic is muted right now.
No,
probably for a good
it's
reason.
okay. I didn't say that I liked it.
Don't poke the bear. Don't even bring it up.
We
don't poke
don't
the bear.
like
Please
it.
don't poke the bear.
We don't
Yeah,
like it.
we don't like it. Yeah. No, please don't wake the monster. Please
Oh, I'm
don't do
sorry.
it.
Did I hear some bullshit about Gray Jedi? Is that what I just heard? Some fuckery about Gray Jedi?
No.
Oh, look here, motherfucker. All right. We're not gonna act like anything just happened. You're not gonna avoid me like the drunk girl at a party. I want you to hear what I'm saying to you. I think Gray Jedi, and by Freddie Prinze Jr. voice, I think Gray Jedi fucking suck, all right?
Yes, we know. We know.
And if we did it, we know now. Oh my God, I said don't do it.
I didn't do it.
So no, like I said, I think if anything, we're seeing people who are just wielding the force who have lost the constraints. Like, for example,
Yes.
we talk all the time about Star Killer and the shit he can do. Is it the fact that no one else can do it, or is it the fact that they're just not following the rule book no more? And it's like, if anything, like I said, you have the whole thing with the traditional colors of the sabers, which are blue and green or red, and then you have all these people who are like, yeah, I'm still gonna do what I do, and I'm still gonna wield this weapon, but I'm not gonna wield it as a symbol of any order. Of course, you would pick a neutral or a different color.
Yeah, white,
especially
yellow. Yeah, because they're white now, right?
Well, hers are because Ahsoka took her sabers from Inquisitors and she purified them. So she basically unbled 2 kyber crystals.
Yeah.
So by unbleeding them, she turned them white. But that's just like the whole thing with the dark saber. Like, what's the story behind that blade being black? Or like, we understand that Mace Windu's saber is purple because his saber wasn't necessarily made from an actual kyber crystal. It's from a whole other crystal together.
Well, with the dark saber, the construction of the dark saber, I'm pretty sure it was a synthetic kyber crystal, wasn't it?
Not sure.
It was not a kyber. It was not kyber.
I'm gonna look this up now. Hold on a minute. Yeah, no, I gotta look this up because I've always wondered that. People in the comments, in the chat, let us know. Do you know what makes the dark saber black, or the dark saber dark? I should say. Because if so, by all means, drop it in the comments. Drop it in the comments. Talk to us. Speak to us. I know I sound needy, but I'm not. I swear I'm not. I swear I'm not. No, talk to us. Let us know what y'all think. Let us know how y'all feeling. Again, if you know what made the Darksaber black, by all means, let us know. But I have to agree 100% in everything that you're saying right now, Triage. Is we are now officially seeing, people from either order, pretty much finally stepping out of that and taking the chains off.
Yeah, like people are acknowledging hypocrisy and just going, "Fuck this, I'm not doing it." And as far as Skull and Hottie go, we actually haven't seen what Skull and Hottie's actual goals are. So it's like if
Not yet.
anything that they're doing might forever change the way we see the Force, the way the Force is wielded, because the way that they're going, it's leading towards more going back to that whole thing with the son and the father again. So, like, once again, if anything, we might be heading towards seeing a live action Ahsoka. And I'm curious, boys, who would you pick to play a live action Ahsoka?
I mean, I got it.
A live action Ventress.
A lot of people want her voice actor, and I can see it. I can see it. But then somebody also said Angelina Jolie, which
Mila Jovovich.
Mila.
That's not a bad choice.
That's not bad. For me, with Angelina Jolie, I'm also not mad at that. I feel like she can pull off the bald. She can definitely pull off the bald.
Scarlett Johansson.
No.
Scarlett
got the sex appeal, but she ain't got the. I don't think she's got the.
She ain't got the oomph. She ain't got the tiger. She ain't got the rawr.
Yeah, she ain't got the villainous in her.
Yeah. Well, I don't think she's ever played a villain.
I haven't seen it. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, there was a movie where she was like a sex crazed alien, but that was about it. Like, I even then, like, is that really villainous though? Is that really villainous? We'll leave it at that. I found out information about the Darksaber.
That's good.
Yeah, so we're just gonna change the subjects from that. According to Google's AI, the black color of the Darksaber is attributed to the unique kyber crystal within it, which is said to have a rare and unusual black crystal. Kyber crystal, like all lightsabers, the Darksaber is powered by a kyber crystal. However, unlike more commonly seen blue, green, or red crystals, the Darksaber's crystal is black, giving the blade its distinct appearance. It's a unique kyber crystal. So I'm looking at it has a unique kyber crystal properties. The specific nature of this black crystal and how it came to be black is not explicitly detailed in Star Wars lore. However, it is implied to be exceptionally rare and possibly have unique properties compared to other kyber crystals, resulting literally saying the same thing. The Darksaber's black color adds to its mystique and symbolic weight within Mandalorian culture, where it represents leadership and power. In essence, the Darksaber's black color is due to unique black kyber crystal at its heart, making it's super rare. So
okay, I thought it wasn't a kyber.
So it's a black kyber crystal.
I know that the use of the Darksaber, if used against another saber, the Darksaber acts as like a magnet.
Yes, it does, because there's a battle between Obi-Wan and what's his name? I can't remember his name. Yeah,
Maul.
Was it? Yeah, Maul. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, it was Maul. No, it was human. It was a human guy. I think it was in the same episode though. I think it was in the same arc. Where Obi-Wan is fighting somebody with the Darksaber, and it like has a weird effect on his saber. on Obi-Wan's lightsaber.
Oh, I think it was
Go ahead.
I think it was the Mandalorian that was trying to overthrow Bo-Katan's sister.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and yeah, yep, nope, that's him. Yep, exactly. It was in that same story arc where Maul ends up killing her. Right?
Yes.
In order to piss off Kenobi for taking his legs. Talk about sweeping the legs, man. Talk about taking the legs. This man took both legs, torso, and everything. Jeez.
So I've been more upset the fact I lost my dick. That's just me though.
Oh, absolutely. I would have been pissed.
I lost my dick. I'd have been livid.
Can no longer force choke the chicken.
That sounds insane. That sounds insane. Why are you using the force to masturbate? That's
if I'm a Sith Lord, I'm using the force.
You better explain this shit because that sounds crazy.
If I am a Sith Lord, I'm using the force for whatever the fuck I want to use it.
So you use the force to do it with no hands? That sounds fucking.
Yo,
what is the matter with you?
Crazy.
Babe, come to bed. I'll be there in a sec. Just go lay down.
Wow.
Yo, you're a godless heathen, my nigga. You need Jesus. That's insane.
You're telling me neither one of you two would do that?
Nah, my nigga. That's not even remotely crossing my mind. If anything, I'm gonna flick her beam from the next room and let her get off. You talking about choking the chick?
Oh no, I'm talking about both. I'm talking about both. I'm talking about
don't backpedal. Don't backpedal now. He wasn't singing that tune a minute ago.
No, when I said tell her to go back to the room, that's what I meant. I said from the other room. That's what I meant. You doing it from the other room.
Oh my, yeah, whatever, nigga, whatever.
I'm just saying, if I get to sit here and keep playing Marvel Rivals and they still be happy, I'm fine with that. I
bet you are.
Fine with that. Man, listen. And what about you? I'm just saying, I'm that 2%.
When it comes to Bo-Katan, I'm that 2%. You goddamn right.
Whoa.
You okay over there, Jay?
Oh yeah. I'm good.
What was that? Sound like he's using the force right now.
Listen, he wasn't prepared for that level of fuckery. That's what that was. He was caught off guard.
It sounded like this man just got out of a merry-go-round going 30 miles per hour. Yeah,
not prepared for that amount of fuckery.
He was caught completely off guard. He was like, yo, what did he just say?
What did he say? Oh, God. Oh, and I have not, listen, I have no Terramon in my system. Nothing. I have no devil's lettuce either. That was all.
You saying this bullshit stone sober, nigga? Oh no! No!
Sober bullshit.
Oh no!
This is stone sober bullshit right here. This is sober Maximus here. This is sober Maximus.
That's insane.
That's
sanity.
Crazy.
Listen, when it comes to the Force, man, I'm doing ungodly things.
Oh, I gather. I gather.
There is a reason that
you are getting banned from all schools. You're not going to be able to be permitted in the street. You're doing reckless shit.
Absolutely, I am. Absolutely, am. I'm going to be walking down the street, going to see a little kid walking with their mom. La-di-da-di-da. Have
I
a
am
happy
so
day.
concerned
They got
right
a balloon
now.
in
I
their
am
hand.
so concerned right now.
They're going to have they just walked away from the damn ice cream truck, and I'm going to trip that motherfucker from the other side of the road. He gonna spill his ice cream and lose his balloon.
Oh my god.
That's exactly what I'm doing ungodly things. I'm gonna be walking and the wind's gonna blow on it. Man, listen. That balloon gonna end up in fucking California.
Oh my.
I'm doing ungodly things. Ungodly things. Be a blind person walking down the street, and they're gonna think that they're bumping into a wall.
We need to stop.
And
We need to stop.
See, this is how I know there's something wrong with you. You're not ending world hunger. You're not stopping peace. You're not starting peace negotiations for warring countries. You're not doing nothing productive. You're somewhere beating yourself like with the force. You're somewhere tormenting the blind. You're somewhere trying to have immaculate conception. Nah, my nigga. I'm ashamed of you. You should just be humble and sit down.
Jesus. Oh God. God. I mean, like I think like I'll get around to that eventually.
I am a little scared.
I'm like, I'll get around to doing good shit eventually, but I'm gonna enjoy myself for a little bit first. I'm gonna do all the wrong things I possibly can do with that power, and then I'll think about helping some people out. Then I'll help.
Oh boy.
Fucking insanity.
Absolutely. I feel like someone will be mad not to take advantage of it at first. Come on now. Just have a little fun. Just a little bit.
There's someone committing war crimes on your genitals, and we're all supposed to just co-sign it. Like, oh yeah, that's normal. That's typical behavior. There's nothing wrong with that. Nah,
Yet
listen,
you were
man.
the one that just said that you were more concerned about it being cut off.
Yes, I would have taken it personal because some man took it upon himself not only castrate me, but to take away my ability to walk and live my life effectively. Yes, I'd have taken that personally. And you're saying that, like, oh yeah, you can't choke your chicken with the force no more. That is not the same, my guy. Was it no one talking about no hands masturbation? You shined it with that. Oh, I haven't felt this uncomfortable with a conversation since you two were talking about the whole lippy thing with sleeping with your counterpart from another universe.
Oh God, this is the super breakdown, y'all. Oh God, this is why I love this shit. Fuck. Oh God. Ladies and gentlemen, please drop in the comments. What is the first thing that you would do if you got?
Nah, don't do that. Don't do that.
No, please. I want to know. What is the first thing that you're doing if you were strong in the Force? What's the first thing you're doing? You cannot tell me that when Vader was in that damn hallway and he was walking up all those rebels and he grabbed one of them rebels by the throat, you cannot tell me there was not one of them that was like, you cannot tell me.
Nah, it's something wrong with you. Something is wrong with you.
Oh my God.
See, all this is telling me is that my co-host is into big black men in dark leather outfits who choke people.
No, I'm saying what I'm saying is that
nah, don't backpedal now, nigga. Don't backpedal now. It's too late.
In Star Wars universe, you got human men going to bars where there are alien women with tentacles coming out of their head, dancing around half naked. Everyone in the Star Wars universe is a goddamn freak.
Only you.
I'm telling you, Jabba the Hutt was having freak offs. I kid you, I swear it. I swear Jabba the Hutt was having freak offs.
Well, you saw the way he had Princess Leia dressed. I'm not doubting that.
Right?
Oh,
He had
God.
Leia wearing the wildest slave outfit ever with the collar around her neck and everything.
That shit is like that shit became iconic. Became
Holy
iconic.
shit. My stomach hurts from laughing so much.
Listen, if I ever come home and my lady's dressed like that, she's getting pregnant that night.
Man, she'll get pregnant just by you looking at her. Just by looking at her.
I'm gonna laugh like Java and everything mid-stroke.
That's very disturbing.
They gonna be in the room sounding like the king of the Gungans.
Yo.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Jesus Christ, I'm fucking crying. That's fucking hilarious. I'm just saying, my whole point was that there are freaks within the Star Wars universe, and it's not talked about. It's not talked about.
There is probably a tentacle fetish, okay? If you were to hypothetically think of something like this, you could supposedly think of that. Maybe.
Listen, you said hypothetical a lot in that statement just now. So
hypothetical.
Listen, if you, I'm gonna tell you.
I'm trying to.
I'm gonna tell you, like they told me when I said Winnie the Pooh was a chronic masturbator. All right, if you don't want to talk about it, don't bring it up.
Oh God. Oh geez. That is
oh my God. That was really funny.
That was fucking hilarious. God damn, this man said hypothetically. I'm telling you, man. Listen, if William Shatner can do it, Kenobi can do it. If William Shatner can have a green Twi'lek in his bed, I'm pretty sure on their adventures, Anakin had one too. Oh my God. That is fucking hilarious. Oh man, that's getting clipped. That's getting clipped. That's getting clipped. Oh my God. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, tentacle fetish. I'm never gonna look at you the same way again, Jay. I want you to know. There is no judgment, but there is no judgment, but I cannot unhear that shit.
Hypothetically. This is just hypothetically.
I was trying to sound more opposite than this guy talking over here.
You made it even worse.
Nah, he didn't sound worse than you. He did not. I'll give him that. He definitely did.
I meant like it made it sound like worse than what he was trying to make it sound. Because it's one of those situations. If you have to say like I'm not racist or not to be rude, whatever you're about to say after is probably going to be racist or rude. So when you say hypothetically once, it's like, okay, cool. But that means a thought in your mind. You say it twice, it's like, you're really trying to drive the point home here. You say it 3 times, it's like, all right, what you really thinking about? What you really thinking about in your off time there? You've been thinking about some stuff. You've been thinking about some stuff.
Oh my gosh, so have you, bro.
I'm just saying, there ain't no goddamn way that there ain't bitches out here getting forced choke for fun.
Oh God!
Like I said, there's no kink shaming. Listen,
does Darth Vader have to choke a bitch? Oh my god! Like, come on now, because they do have, like, they were legit slaves. Like, that's what Leia was supposed to be. She was supposed to be Jabba's like sex slave.
I'm aware. I'm just saying.
So clearly there's slave trade in Star Wars universe. Okay.
Yes.
There's sex trafficking in the Star Wars universe. All right. Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna leave this alone.
Nah.
No,
We're
no,
gonna go
no,
there.
no. We cannot go there.
No.
We can, as
Nope.
the proprietor of this show, we cannot go there.
Mm-hmm. See, look at you out to cross the boundary. You shouldn't.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. Had to bring that one
Great.
back. What was that?
Great.
Oh no. I mean, yes, but no. That's not where I was gonna go. We're not even going to keep talking about it. But yeah, Asajj Ventress, she is an amazing character. She is strong. She is fierce. She is vicious. But I like the fact that we are getting to see a lighter side of her. Within with this first 3 episodes of Tales of the Underworld. What do you guys think?
I think that giving her some more longevity, especially with the way the Star Wars universe is currently heading, with everything going on, with a newly united Mandalore, to Ahsoka reuniting and training with her apprentice, to the thing going on with the Rebels right now. I think that we have a lot of potential to get some real gun ho action out of her, especially if they're not going to canonize some of these other characters who we all want to see in live action. Seeing Asajj be betrayed, especially alongside Ahsoka, with them coming through all the revelations that maybe the other one is not so evil or not so good, I think would be a very satisfying thing for the series.
Yeah, that would be very cool.
What about you, Jay?
Well, I was gonna say it would be nice to see her with more interaction with other characters. So, like, same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I go ahead.
Asajj has had a lot of like very iconic moments, from her becoming Dooku's apprentice to her leading a lot of attacks for the Separatists, and this to her scarring Anakin Skywalker's face, and that because she's the one who scarred his face like that. And that's has never been shown. It's just a canon fact that it happened.
It's never talked about. Yeah.
And that's interesting because I remember when I first watched Revenge of the Sith, right? I saw the scar on his face, and yet I never asked questions about it. That's interesting. I never asked questions about it. And
yeah,
I'm pretty sure I saw Revenge of the Sith before I saw that episode.
I believe it's mentioned in the Star Wars comics that he did it. That he got it from her.
Oh. Okay. Well, shit. No, damn. I didn't know that. But for me, I have to agree with both of you guys. I like what Star Wars is doing right now because, to be honest, I couldn't give 2 shits about the Skywalkers anymore. I really couldn't give 2 shits about Skywalkers anymore. They've beat that dead horse back alive, and then dead again, then back alive, and then dead again. So I'm Skywalkered out. Fuck Rey Skywalker. Fuck all that. I like what they're doing right now.
Yes.
Specifically with Ahsoka's character, with the Rebels, with with Mandalore, all these, and then them also having to come together to take down Thrawn.
Also,
I feel like that's perfect.
If you guys have not watched the 2nd season of Andor, I highly recommend it.
I couldn't get into the first one. I thought I was boring.
Yeah, I myself have to get into Andor because, like I said, I'm very behind. I have to watch. Oh, bro, tell me how I'm sorry, jumping backwards real quick to the Acolyte.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me how I'm just realizing that Daphne King played Jackie.
What?
Oh my God! How are you just realizing that?
I'm sorry. I'm lost.
X-23 in Acolyte, the young chick with the green lightsaber that ended up dual wielding against Quinn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Daphne King.
Oh, yeah.
X-23.
I didn't know you didn't know that.
No, I literally, because I remember I saw a video of her like on her Instagram where she was like, you know, playing around with lightsabers and shit and doing like fight combat and shit. I was like, oh, I didn't think nothing of it. And I didn't realize it was her when I watched the show. And then I recently saw a video of her on the red carpet and I saw the Acolyte thing in the background. I'm like, and then they cut to a scene, the scene of them fighting, and I'm like, oh, damn, I'm pissed that she died. Because they were asking her, like, at Daphne King, if she's interested in like a lead role, because everything that she's done so far has been like main support character type stuff or side character roles, and that's why they brought that up.
I mean, I get her playing a Jedi in this, that, and the third, but I think if anything, and this is one of the things that I think the Star Wars universe actually does very poorly, is that it does not show the balance in the fighting well between the Sith and the Jedi, because he fucking embarrassed them. Like, that shit was bad.
He did. That was fucking bad.
Like, he wiped the floor with them.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I have to say,
yes,
none of them
was his master, but I still.
But that's so... none of them have ever come toe to toe with an actual Sith before.
But even then, though, but like my whole thing is like, all right, because he used certain tactics that they're not supposed to use, like the whole thing with the Cadorsis, and then like him turning his lightsaber on and off. Like, you're not supposed to do that. So it's like, I get it, but it's like, my nigga, it was what, 8-1?
And for me, it's the aggression. It was the aggression. None of them were in there, and I think he also played on their fear too.
Listen, like I said, that still doesn't. I still don't get it.
I'll put it.
Yeah,
they weren't ready. They weren't ready. He was a man with a plan who was not afraid to kill. It was like sending a bunch of police cadets into a situation with somebody who is ready and willing to kill. Like, they're fresh, green. Like, every last one of those Jedi, even though some of them were masters, green when it came to dealing with a true Sith who was like, come on, like I feel like Quinn, he embodied all the rules of the Sith. He used deceit, he used cunning, he used, he slipped in and out. You know what I'm saying? Like, not even his acolyte truly knew who he was. To her, he was somebody that is supposed to be helping him. His master, wants him to help. Let's see. That's what happened when you spend years denying they exist. Exactly. 100%, Tashi. Were you here? I hope you weren't here for the fuckery that just ensued not too long ago.
I don't think so. No.
Please tell me you weren't here for that fucking.
You mean you caused? You mean a direct reflection of your actions? Don't deny your part. Don't be that guy.
I didn't say that. I didn't deny anything. I just said that there was an extreme level of fuckery that happened not too long ago. I didn't say that I didn't start it.
Oh my God! I'm never gonna let that go. I want you to know that. I hope that goes middle rail because I am never letting that shit go.
That shit's getting clipped. It's absolutely 100% getting clipped. 100% getting clipped. I'm going to manually clip that shit.
Oh no.
Oh man. Oh man. Yes. When you get it, when the show's over and done with, I say run back like 18 minutes. Run back about 18 minutes ago. About 18 minutes. Run that back. It's wild. It's wild. Don't make sure you got headphones on. Don't let as we always say in the show, best not bring your kids. Anyways, yes. So yeah, no, I felt like he truly embodied what it meant to be a Sith, and they weren't ready for it. They weren't ready. They were trained. They had been trained for at least 200-300 years that the Sith are no more. So why and the Jedi are cocky enough to be like, no, we're here as peacekeepers. And again, that's what that was the role that they played since the Rasan Accord. They were the peacekeeping force that answered to the Chancellor.
Yeah.
So when they had to pull up on I'm gonna put it this way. They pulled up on a real nigga who was ready to do some real nigga shit, and they weren't. They were fighting with honor. He was not. The fuck is honor? Hell no. I'm a Sith. You are in the way of me doing what I'm trying to do of my mission. I don't give a damn honor. What? Oh, you don't have a lightsaber in your hand? Oh, only reason I'm letting you pick that shit up is because I want to toy with you more. I want to play with you a little bit more. Why I see his twin, Chimere. That was his name, Chimere. I don't know why did I keep calling him Quinn? I don't know why I kept calling him Quinn. His name's Chimere. Yeah. Yeah, they fucked around and they found out. They fucked around and they found out. But again, no, I 100% agree with you. I would love to see Asajj now that she's alive. I would love to see how she interacts with this new Star Wars, this new galaxy that they have. Right? Because it seemed like when they resurrected her, it's as if she wasn't resurrected like right away. When
like time passed, yeah,
a lot of time passed, like years passed. By the time she stepped out of that lake, and I gotta say that shit was cool. I love that detail. That was such a awesome, cool detail that they added there. That was so awesome, so fucking awesome. But like, so, and like she hadn't aged today. And again, we don't know how much time has passed since she's came back. Clearly enough time has passed for her. She clearly visually looks older. And enough time has passed for her to be like, you know what? I just want that peaceful, quiet life. And
we all know how they feel about peace.
Peace is a lie. So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I agree with you. I need to see the way that she interacts with the newfound Mandalore, the newfounded Mandalore, well, I mean, they're not all together yet, but when Ahsoka gets back from that planet, but we still got to see what Skull and Huddy are going to do as well. Did you guys see that they officially recasted?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm 100% with it. I'm 100% with it. I'm interested to see where he takes this and where they take the story.
Yes.
Yeah, It's gonna be really, really dope. But yeah, I just want to see how she interacts with this world. And I hope, I know it's not gonna happen. I know it's not gonna come, but I hope they do something. They do something big, and even if it's outside of the realm of Star Wars, just do something to like erase those last 3 films.
I wouldn't even acknowledge. I wouldn't even acknowledge
that. I hold on, one more moment, and I say that not because of Rey's character or whatever. I say it because I feel like there is so much they can do better. There's so much more that they can do now that they have these shows that take place before the films. There's so much shit in there that they could write a better continuation story than that.
But my whole thing is, like you said, even if they shifted away from like I said, shift away from the Skywalkers, they could do a show about Revan. They could do a show about Darth Maul, which they're doing. They did a show about Mandalore. Look up the Mandalorians and how successful that's been. They could do a show about the Nightsisters. They could do a show about fucking I'm not a Han Solo fan. That's just me. They could do a show about the actual founding of the Old Republic and how the Sith rose to power, and the Sith. They can show the Sith Civil War and the whole thing with the Empire. Like there's so much shit they could do. It's what will they do? And then the other big issue is like the whole thing with Rey is like he said, it's not the fact that Rey's a female by no means. It's the fact that Rey's not badass. You look at all the other female characters you've seen in Star Wars, from Ahsoka to
Padme,
Ventress to Padme to fucking, oh my god, what was the one chick's name? The one who was running around with the Mandalorian?
Bo-Katan?
Bo-Katan's another one, not her, the other one.
The one with the giant machine gun.
Yes.
The one that the UFC chick played.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ah, shit. What was her name? Anyone watching? What was her name? To
the Asian chick who's the sniper. Like there is so many.
Yeah, Mei Wing Mao character.
There are so many female characters that are badass and Rey's like just there.
And it's like so, and yet all these other characters, we see them get there. Right? We see them get there. It's like Rey started off a new profile. It's like she started a new game plus. And like she just starts with all the shit that all these other characters worked for. You know what I mean? And that's another thing that really pissed me off. It's like, no, like they're like, oh my god, bro, fuck, dude, I haven't even heard anyone say that yet. But that is a very fucking solid point. There are so many other badass women who aren't even Jedi, who aren't even Force sensitive, not even fucking Force sensitive. Yet Rey steps onto the scene and is having full fucking teleportation Force visions.
She's just
full
like
Jedi mind tricks. She's it's not like the fact that she is
awkward.
A very awkward. Oof, that's great. Yes, she's a very awkward character.
She's Bella Swan if Bella Swan was a Jedi.
Ooh, goddamn, yes. And again, we're not talking about the actor. I mean, okay, I'm not like an amazing fan of the actor just based off her acting. Not saying she's a bad actor. She just doesn't act in movies that are like my style. Not saying she's a bad actor, but the character of Rey is she's a bad character to put in a world full of other badass characters. She's not a badass character. She's a bad character.
But that can be said of a lot of them. Like I wasn't impressed by Poe. I didn't like the character of Finn. Like the characters themselves, I was just like you. Like I looked at them like you guys are corny.
The very lackluster because they tried so hard to be. They tried so hard to recreate and reenact what made A New Hope so special.
Yeah.
Watching all three of those films was literally watching. It felt like I was watching a watered down version of the original three.
What they needed to do was create a new story,
brand new,
and they didn't do that. They simply retold the same story, and it was very boring.
Like, look, we fucking with Kylo, with Ben. Look at that shit. Look at that. All he was just the Vader of the situation. He was the Vader of the story.
And not even, because it's like the whole thing with them doing that, it's just like, we're getting off subject again, but like my whole thing is like,
oh, the show's over at this point. This is just a little something for everybody else. The show's over at this point. This is something for everyone else.
Like I said, my whole thing is like they keep trying to focus so heavy on Skywalkers, and it's like at this point, I don't care about the Skywalkers anymore. I really don't. Like, did you see the Skeleton Crew yet?
No, not yet.
So Skeleton Crew is like a combination of Treasure Planet and the Goonies.
Yeah. Nope. Yeah. I got that. I got that from it. It's definitely on my list. Like I said, I'm still behind.
And don't get me wrong, it's got its moments. There's a few questionable things, an agenda push here and there, but it's not bad at all.
Yeah, and again, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because it also shows like that fresh take, like when you're a kid growing up in the galaxy and you want adventure, or you want more. What does that look like?
Mm-hmm.
So like when you see these kids and like the shenanigans they get into, it's like this would have been me and my boys. You know what I mean?
Oh, damn! I'm sorry. While you were saying that, I just had a thought as well. Like one, you're absolutely right. Like that's what needs to be done from the movie side. You know what I'm saying? I felt like. And again, I can't speak for Skeleton's Crew. I can't, because I haven't watched it yet. But it just off rip, it feels like a breath of fresh air from the Star Wars world. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm like, and this is what we need for the films. Right, we need a breath of fresh air on the film side of it, on the big screen side of it. And I just thought of something that made it even heavier for my previous comment of that. Like these last three films were just watered down remakes of A New Hope. What is it? A New Hope, Return of the Jedi, and Empire Strikes Back. Bro. It literally is. We got a character that don't know their parents, that grew up on a deserted wasteland of a desert, right? That knows that they're different. That feels that they're different. But you know what? Nah, I'm going to stay here. I'm doing my thing, whatever, right? That finds out that they have this magical power, right? And then honestly, I'm forgetting Rey's fucking story and how she even gets to the damn lightsaber. Point is, all that leading up to her to the whole "I'm your father" scene again. But it's a whole, instead of "I'm your father," it's "I'm your grandfather."
I'm sorry. I'm laughing. I'm just laughing because it's just so the same.
It really is. And again, it's it's a Skywalker versus a fucking Palpatine.
See, now the only thing, in my opinion, hot take, that would have saved that franchise is if you have Rey have a vision of herself where she is evil.
Yeah.
I think
she did.
Yeah, she has a vision of herself where she sees herself as evil. I think the thing that would have saved that and actually would have made that work is if Rey had sided with Kylo and they ruled the universe as Supreme Emperor Kylo and Lady Palpatine.
Oh, that would have been sick.
Like
that would have been
just
sick as well, but I would have loved to see Rey be like, because remember, her whole thing was she wanted to know who she was, right? And in that moment when she finds out, oh, you're the only living relative I have left, she sides with Palpatine. And then it's left for Kylo, who turns to the dark side, to now have to go toe-to-toe with an old-ass... Honestly, I think Palpatine might have been actually stronger than he used to be in that moment. And a newly fresh, fresh to the dark side Rey.
Palpatine literally shot lightning up into the sky and disabled hundreds of ships. Like, come on.
Yeah.
In space. They weren't even above the actual planet. They were like literally above the planet.
Yeah.
That would be considered if it was like in an atmosphere of a planet, depending on how thick the atmosphere is, it could be up to 200 miles.
Yeah. Holy shit. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. So he was quite stronger than he was when he died.
Dumb.
Dumb. Dumb. Fucking stupid. But there was so many things. Like they could have went with the whole twin idea from the comic books or from the books. They could have gone with the whole clone idea from the books. Because I'm just saying, has anyone ever found fucking Anakin's hand or Luke's hand? You're telling me they cut off the hand of one of the strongest fucking Force users that they had seen. And didn't keep it and try to clone from it?
Yeah. Wait. Flag on the play. Face match clipping. Unnecessary roughness. Unholy gestures. Scratching the referee's balls. It's going to be a 60-yard penalty. It still might be Power's ball. All right. So the point that there's that is that there's a whole conspiracy theory that states the Luke Skywalker at the end of The Last Jedi is not the same Luke Skywalker that is the one from The Mandalorian. The theory is that when Vader cut off Luke's hand on Cloud City, they found Luke Skywalker's hand and began trying to clone him. And that Luke Skywalker, because there is a story in the Legends comics where Luke Skywalker apparently comes across an like evil version of himself, and that version of him is revealed to be a clone.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then
So
that would
good.
Then that would make sense to the whole thing to why the Luke Skywalker we see who tries to late race Kylo acts so much different from the traditional Luke Skywalker we know.
So you're saying the one that tried to kill Kylo is not the same one at the end of
Return of the Jedi. Correct.
Oh, my bad. I had it out of order. It's New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
Then Force Awakens, whatever. I don't know how I feel about that. I still would have liked the idea of so you see how they have the connection, right? I would have liked it to be like each of them were clones. And they were connected, and they were like, you can even have it as like they were twin clones, like they came from the same hand or whatever, whether it be Luke's or Anakin's. I would have preferred Anakin's, just to tie it back. One was defective, Bad Batch style, got rejected, right? And then they have that connection because they're same thing like Osha and May. You know what I mean? I would. So yes, and that I guess that's the reason why I honestly thought Acolyte was not bad. And I think that's the reason why, because I had that idea after I watched the last 3 films. I'm like, this is fucking stupid. They should have did this. And then I see them do it in Acolyte, and I'm like, see, I was fucking right. But yeah, have them have been twins, because again, there's in the books, Han and Leia both have they have twins. One goes to the light side, one goes to the dark side.
Yep.
And I feel like that would have
that story would have been great.
Yeah, for them to take that story kind of and twist it a little bit.
Nah,
that concept. Yeah, they still would have found a way to fuck it up. But just taking that concept would have made more sense for them having that connection. Right? Because nowhere ever in the fucking Star Wars lore has they ever talked about that. What I forgot what they gave the name for that was, but 2 people being connected in the Force. They gave it a name. It was a specific name, and I can't remember.
A dyad.
A dyad, right?
But like I said before, that makes sense to an extent, because the pendulum is always going to try to balance itself back out. And Sidious himself, Supreme Leader Snoke, said that he knew that Kylo's balance on the opposite side would eventually appear. He just wasn't expecting it to appear in a novice like Rey.
Yeah.
But she's not a novice, though. She's the granddaughter of Darth Sidious.
Yeah, she had no training. She didn't know who she was.
A fool with a title is the most dangerous type of person there is. So, like, my whole thing is like, yeah, okay, she has the name, but that doesn't necessarily mean she has the power, or she has the potential for the power. Like, okay, but even then, like, even if she has some kind of skill or raw potential, that doesn't equal training. Like, that's that whole experience argument happening again.
No, yeah, and again, you're absolutely right. I 100% agree with you. That's why I feel like, and that's what pisses me off about Rey, because there's no fucking way that your Force, you just awaken and just become in tune with the Force, and you're able to fucking Jedi mind trick. Able to Jedi fucking mind trick to literally completely alter someone's train of thought.
I mean,
there's no way. There's no way you're gonna Jedi mind trick Daniel Craig. There's no way.
Right, and the other part of that, and I know this is a big part for you as well, Triage, is that there's no fucking way you've never wielded a fucking lightsaber before, and you're able to match someone who is not only trained by Luke fucking Skywalker, who was the son of Anakin Skywalker, who was trained by both who were trained by Obi-Wan fucking Kenobi, who was trained by Qui-Gon Jinn, who was trained by Count Dooku, who was trained by Master Yoda. There's no fucking way, no way that you're besting him in a fight with a fucking lightsaber as your first time.
Like you said, she's a Palpatine, so that it got chalked up to that. But like I said, that's that poor writing shit that they use to substitute for that too. Like, there's no good reason why she should have been able to do that. There's no good reason why she should have been able to do a lot of shit she did.
All that I feel like all that shit was an agenda push, and the fucking writers sit in there force choking a chicken.
Once again, to the fourth masturbation. Here we go. All right. Anywho,
That's
like,
what I feel like. That's what they were doing with that shit, man.
but I would have been more okay. Like, for example, say like we saw when Ahsoka fought the Nightsister.
Mm-hmm.
Like when she fought Morgan, like if Ahsoka had used lightning like that, I'd have been okay with it.
Yeah, because she's no novice. She's been doing this
Right.
shit for a minute.
Or like if you watch the Rebel show, like how Kanan got blinded, and then when he was using the Force, he wound up healing his eyes right before he died.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you've seen certain people pierce that veil and do wild shit with it, but it's like with the people you see, they're like, okay, they've transcended, they've enlightened, they've reached a point of enlightenment, to the point where I'm like, all right, I believe it. All right, that's cool. But for her just to slide on through, just like, oh yeah, I got all this big clam energy, no one's gonna beat me. I'm unstoppable. I'm wielding the Youngling Killer 9000, and I'm unstoppable.
Wow. Wow.
God. Yeah, that's hilarious.
It's
And then
true.
not to mention the fucking last 3 films are promoting patricide. Come on now. Luke didn't even kill his own father.
That's the whole point. Is because you have this person who realizes that she's being manipulated. This is what they want, and he's like, I'm not going to hurt anybody, especially this man who's my father, who fell down the path, to have him later on go, oh, in a moment of weakness, a moment of limp dickness, I'm afraid of my nephew and what his potential could be, so I'm going to kill him in his sleep. And then he wakes up, and then Luke is just standing over him, which is also kind of super queer and weird. But I don't get it.
Yeah, it made no sense, because if he had already seen that his father had been redeemed from the dark side, then he knows that you can be redeemed from the dark side.
I mean, can we all acknowledge just how weird that was? That's Kylo weird. Rolls over and sees Luke over standing over him holding his lightsaber like that. That shit was so weird.
Yeah,
and awkward. Yeah. And again, this is also and Mark Hamill, he said himself, he did not like it at all.
I wouldn't have did it. I just told him to rewrite that shit.
Yeah, I would have said no.
Made no sense.
No. But I think it was a promise of them killing him off or having him die. That was like, all right, let me just do it just so the character can be done, and I don't want nothing else to do with Star Wars. I'll still rep whatever. I'll rep the original 3. I'll even rep the prequels. But nah, I'm good.
But like I said, the prequels, to me, the prequels are not bad. The prequels show a better side of the universe. The issue is the prequels don't flush out Anakin Skywalker enough. That's the problem.
I feel like Kenobi's the main character of the prequels.
Yeah, yes and no. I just think, like I said, because the prequels are focused so heavily on the time gaps and the actual major events of the series. For example, if they showed, I literally saw this where they were talking about this, and it was like how Anakin Skywalker going off the way he did about being denied the rank of master makes more sense now, because he's the most famous person in the galaxy. He's a decorated war hero. He's saved half the members of the Jedi Council. He's put out fucking forest fires. He's saved whole ships of people. He's saved whole planets. It's like
he destroyed an entire shipment fleet in space when he was a kid.
Right.
And it's like, and then not to mention they never showed. Remember, so there's that scene where Anakin's going off to go do something. Kenobi, I think when Kenobi's going off to go to Kamina, they have that whole scene beforehand, and I think that was like Anakin's first mission, like by himself or whatever. And Obi-Wan's giving him all the props and shit like that. You're a better Jedi than I could have ever become. Blah blah blah, so on and so forth. We don't see what happens with what Anakin does. And apparently, what I end up finding out is that scene where they're flying in to save Duke, to save Palpatine, at the same time that scene's happening, where the Dooku's execution and shit like that. The same time that's happening, apparently Ahsoka is on the planet below them, doing all that wild, reckless shit from the first because that was the first time. I'm pretty sure that was like her first big battle, like being in charge, where they let her run wild. That's happening at the same time.
No. Because that battle was above Coruscant. Ahsoka was on Mandalore taking care of Maul.
Yes. Wait, you know what scene I'm talking about, right? When she's jumping from ship to ship, taking out the ships by herself.
Oh yeah, I know the scene you're talking about. She doesn't have her lightsabers or a weapon.
No. She has her lightsabers.
Oh yeah, that's the only thing she has, and she has to jump.
Yeah, she literally only has the lightsabers, and she jumps out the fucking ship, and then starts jumping from enemy ship to enemy ship, taking them out with just her fucking lightsabers. And then fucking as the one ship is falling in to the fucking hangar bay of the place that they're invading, she fucking jumps off and does a barrel roll, lands with both lightsabers fucking ignited, ready for battle. I think that was when they were both blue.
Yeah, I want to say that was one. That was on Mandalore. I could be wrong. Because Anakin Skywalker replaced the carbon crystals she had with blue ones.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That was it.
So
you're right.
If you're looking at it, I don't even know what the point was I was about to make. I'm so lost.
My bad. Sorry about that. Yeah, my bad. I went off on a side thing. But no, you were making the point that it makes sense that why Anakin was so pissed off, because he did some wild ass, amazing, commendable ass shit.
Yes. So excuse me. From that aspect, it's like you understand his frustration more. Now, here's the thing. Because we saw Anakin Skywalker as the warrior, we never really saw him as the Padawan. If anything, they should do an animated series that follows the end of Phantom Menace to Attack of the Clones.
Mm-hmm.
We should see the shit where he contemplates leaving the Order. We should see the shit how he feels like he's constantly held back because he's so much better than everyone else his age. We should see the shit like where he constantly asks Obi-Wan about his duel with Maul and proceeds to fight more aggressively towards Ataru and Jin So. And we should see the stuff like how, all right, he feels at like the age of 16, he's rivaled Yoda as a swordsman. Like,
yeah,
we have a lot of like stories as far as legends and like comics that go along that are canon, but it's like we haven't seen it in live action or animation. So I think if we saw something as far as like, if we literally had a series, they could literally call it Anakin and Kenobi and have it literally be from the end of Phantom Menace to Attack of the Clones and give it like 5 seasons.
Ooh.
Yeah, see, that would be really cool.
I'm with that. I'm definitely with that.
And if anything, that would flush it all out more. So once you see all that, because if you watched Phantom Menace, if you had that series that I'm talking about, if it was as good as the Clone Wars, Attack of the Clones, so you get why he is the way he is by the time he's 20 years old, and then you watch the Clone Wars, then Revenge of the Sith, this would fully flush his character out to the point where everyone understands why he is who he is. Because people just felt like, oh, Anakin was whiny and he complained. Like, no, like he's a fucking war hero who's denied the promotion he overly deserves.
Mm-hmm.
But no one also clarified, like, the only reason we're not doing this is because we don't trust Palpatine. Like, his relationship with you is very inappropriate. The power he's amassed is unnecessary for someone of his station. The fact that he's managed to stay in office longer than what he should is we're realizing now is a bigger problem because of the way he can control, manipulate shit. Even when Obi-Wan Kenobi said it, he was like, he never says it directly, but he says it to Anakin like, yo, I don't like what he's doing, he's becoming a problem. He's going to be a threat because of everything that he's amassed since the war started.
Mm-hmm.
And Anakin's response is, "Oh, well, you guys are asking me to lie and be dishonorable and all this other shit." And it's simply because they already suspect that Palpatine's not telling the whole truth.
Mm-hmm.
But no one could ever prove it.
Mm. 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 Well, listen, that, oof. Damn, man, there's so much shit that they can fucking do. And they're just, man, talk about leaving shit on the cutting room floor, man. Talk about leaving money on the floor, man. Come on. Come on. Like, I still agree that they just need to let Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau figure shit out with George Lucas. Like, literally be like, all right, Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, you guys are in charge of Star Wars, right? You guys are in charge of the shows. You are in charge of the next 3 movies, right? No, I'll give you I'll give you 1 movie. You knock this 1 movie out the park because you're already doing really beautifully with the shows. You knock this 1 movie out the park, I'm gonna give you 2 more movies, right? And with all this, you need to make sure that you are consulting with George Lucas.
That is a very good idea.
Literally, let Star Wars be ran by Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, George Lucas. Because, I mean, it's undeniable. Like the products that all three of them have dropped for Star Wars is undeniable. And I'm sorry, who was the chick that did who did the last 3?
We don't talk about Bruno. No.
Oh no, we're gonna talk about Bruno right now. We're gonna talk about Bruno because we need to talk about the bullshit that she did. Was she director or something? What was she? No, those are the J.J. Abrams was director. Nope, not him, not him either. J.J. Abrams directed the first and third one. Damn. I'm about to find out. Yeah, who was in charge of the last 3 Star Wars films? No. They're still giving me directors.
Damn.
So I'm pretty sure the last 3 movies were filmed by the same person. Damn it, it's not giving me her name. I don't remember her name, but I'm pretty sure she just like kind of retired or whatever. But whatever her name was, she did nasty things to Star Wars, and I don't like her. Yet Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, George Lucas have all done amazing things with Star Wars. So give them Star Wars and let them play around and have fun and go crazy, because when they make shit that makes sense to the story and to the lore.
Very true.
Because Dave Filoni, who either he directed or produced honestly, I think every Star Wars show on Disney Plus. And every Star Wars show on Disney Plus, except for maybe like Boba Fett, has went stupid, has gotten amazing ratings. Like Boba did all right, but it did not do Mando. It did not do Mando numbers. Definitely, it didn't do Ahsoka numbers. It didn't do any of the animated numbers. But yeah, with that being said, Star Wars, you got a lot to work on and a lot to do, and hopefully you guys are getting back to the money and getting back to the fans. It sounds like you are, with getting Maul going, giving Maul the love he deserves, the character deserves. Yeah, man, it just and then you have incredibly strong characters and awesome ass characters like Asajj Ventress. Y'all need to start picking up these characters and doing more work with these characters. Asajj Ventress is an amazing character. She has an absolute amazing storyline, and with the resurrection of her, I am very, 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 very excited to see where we go next with her. With that being said, that has been the Super Breakdown, y'all. I'm Power Maximus. We're here with everyone's favorite demigod, Lord Triage, and the Darth Legacy himself, Jason M40, y'all. That has been the Super Breakdown. Tune in next week. We will be talking about Darth Maul.
Sweet. And
because I got a question. I got a question I want to ask, and I'll ask it now to prep for next week. Why is Darth Maul called Darth Maul if he was never truly a Darth to begin with? Don't answer now. We'll talk about it next week. But yeah, no, that has been the show, and definitely tune in next week. We got a lot coming for you guys to finish up our Star Wars month. Again, see you guys next time. And as remember, fuck prep time.
Fuck prep time.
Darth Lord Triage.
Fuck prep time.
Hey.